Very close to the end of our first day of the main event, but we still have 2 more best of ones to come, and we've saved the best till last. The very next game up is a huge one for both teams involved, a huge one for us here on the panel as well. It's Wings versus EG. We're going to get the thoughts of our brand new panel in just a moment. But before we get there though, and it's all gotten a bit serious, so let's lighten things up with some dogfights versus Universe.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Shanghai Showdown of Hero Association. There's no S for that. Anyway, my name is Sir Action Slacks, and welcome to the competition. Here we have 2 very special guests and our translator. Hello, how's it going?
I'm doing great, and them too.
Yeah. Oh, well, good. Well, let's ask the man. Dogfights, how you doing, man?
感觉很好，今天很开心。
It's feeling very happy right now.
Oh, well, that's great.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
All right, fantastic. So, are you ready to compete? Are we ready to go? Everybody, thumbs up?
Ready.
Right. The contest will be, there are several different nicknames for heroes, both in the Chinese scene and in the Western scene. I will tell you these nicknames, and you must identify the hero. All right? Sounds hard, it's pretty easy. First, let's start with Universe. Universe, this hero is called Poison Dog. What hero do you think it is? Poison Dog.
I guess Poison would be Venomancer, and he's kind of like a dog, I suppose. Actually, he's more like a snake. I can't think of anything else though, so I'll just say Venomancer.
Venomancer, okay. Can we confirm the answer? Poison, can you ask a Poison Dog?
赌狗是哪个英雄？
这个就是会使用禁锢的那个，不，就和露娜一直维和的那个英雄。SD.
Yeah?
Demon. I just said it. Shadow Demon.
Okay, correct. Well done. All right, now a challenge for you, Mr. Dogfights. Space Cow.
我怎么感觉是天穹守望者？
Ooh.
你是白牛吧？
Spirit Breaker.
That's correct. All right, we got 1 point. Congratulations, Spirit Breaker, right? Okay, this one's for you, Universe. Small Dog.
Oh man. So, Poison Dog with Shadow Demon.
Correct.
Small Dog. What do I think? All right,
I'll give you a hint. It's like a small dog would like kind of crawl on the ground, look real ratty, look real disgusting.
Okay. I guess Luna, maybe?
Luna looks real disgusting. All right, well, Luna, no. Please, if you could, small dog.
小 next. 就是噬魂鬼 next.
Life Stealer.
Live Stealer, that is correct. I'm sorry, Universe, I'm sorry. I'll give you an easy one next time. All right, this is a hard one for you. Disco Pony. Disco Pony.
迪斯科小马。
就是受，我都忘记了，我应该用中文怎么说他了。老鹿，你知道是什么
I forgot the names in Chinese, but I think it's like Le Shrek.
Le Shrek, that is correct. That's a 3 streak. All right, easy one for you, Universe. We're gonna give it as easy as possible. This one is Blue Fatty. Blue Fatty.
Blue Fatty. Watermelon.
Whoa.
No, that's not.
No, don't help him. Don't help him. Blue Fatty.
Blue Fatty.
Think about it.
Okay,
There's only one blue hero.
There's only one blue hero. There's
Don't
fat.
help.
How's it not tied? I tied under.
It is Ogre Magi.
Ogre Magi.
I'm afraid it was
Tie
Ogre
under
Magi.
screen
All right.
though.
Very hard one for you. Are you ready?
很难的一个。
Okay. This one is what's it? Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Fuzzy Wuzzy. I'm not
Fuzzy
gonna
Wuzzy.
translate that.
Can't translate Fuzzy Wuzzy?
Fuzzy Wuzzy. Any like other
Okay.
explanations?
How about Outhouse Decorator? Outhouse Decorator. Universe! You haven't known any of them. Okay, hold on.
Universe 他也不知道
Outhouse Decorator.
就是室外装饰者。
你在后边是什么？室外装饰者。室外装饰者。组长。剑圣。
Juggernaut?
No, that was Outworld Devourer, OD.
Oh, I thought it's Tree and Protector.
Oh, sorry. All right. Last one. Universe, this is for you. I'm going to try to make it easy for you. Slap, slap. Slap, slap.
Slap, slap.
Slap, slap.
Ursa.
Wow! Yes! He got it right!
That's
I
it.
didn't say anything.
Yeah, no, he got it. It's Ursa. Congratulations, right? Okay. All right. Are you ready? Last hard one for you.
最后一个
This might be impossible. Banana Mancer.
香蕉 what is a mancer
Like
though?
a banana magician.
香蕉魔术师吗？
齐天大圣。齐天大圣。
Monkey King?
No, that's Venomancer. Venomancer. So, unfortunately, well done. I'm going to give you one more for the tie win. Are you ready? It's the hardest one. It could be anything in the game. It's not a hero. Good luck to you, universe. Your name is Meat Mountain. Could be anything in the game. Meat Mountain.
Like meat as in like pork or
Yes, Meat Mountain.
meat mountain.
You get this right, I'll call it a tie. You get it wrong, you live for the rest of your life completely failing at this challenge.
Shrine.
Which one?
Shrine? Is it a shrine?
No.
Meat
I'll try
Mountain?
one more time. It's a living thing.
Oh, it's a living thing?
It's a living thing, not a hero.
Okay,
You
living
can do it.
thing.
Meat Mountain.
Living thing. Is it the tower? I have no idea.
I'm afraid not. Meat Mountain for dog fights, please.
肉山。
Roshan.
Roshan.
Is it actually? Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, congratulations, Dogfight. You're the winner. Great job. Well
你
done.
赢了
Take a
吗？
bow. Yes.
你赢了，
And that will just about do it. Your knowledge is unparalleled. Thank you so much, sir.
谢谢你。
谢谢。
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on some more Shanghai Showdowns.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get down to the serious stuff. Universe obviously needs a bit of a hand, but hopefully he's much better in game against Wings than he is with weird names of things. I mean, Mountain, come on.
Come on.
Do better
Okay,
than
there
that.
were hints. It's not a hero.
True,
It's a
it was
living
getting
thing.
narrower, wasn't it? It was getting narrower.
Which other living thing? It's not going to be
Yeah.
creeps.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. It's fine. We should introduce. We've got Folt with us. Welcome
Hello.
back. How you doing?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty excited
Yeah.
for this game. We had some interesting last series going around, I
Yes,
could say.
yes.
Swung pretty quickly by RTK. The crowd was pretty pleased with what went on.
Yes,
but
they were very pleased with what went on. We weren't quite so pleased up here for Team MP, poor pups as they are. But we're going to move on to this. This is a big one.
Wings
big
versus
game.
EG. This
Wings
could
versus-
have been the TI finals.
Yeah, could have been
Yeah,
any of the upper
Could
bracket
have
here.
been,
so
yeah.
this is what? This is the third time this is happening
Yep.
in the last couple months? Them facing like this,
Something
so
like that.
Yeah. It's getting a bit silly now, isn't it?
it's getting silly, but
I was
it's
sat with Peter during the group stage when all the results started coming in, and he went, yeah, it's going to happen again, isn't it? Yeah.
it's getting a bit silly, but I mean it's pretty exciting having this for a best of one. You look at this and you're like, well,
For us,
yeah, for them I'm sure it's a train wreck, but for us we're like, which way can
Yeah.
we really go?
yeah, indeed. All right, let's take a look at the Wings lineup and introduce you to the Wings team as if you need an introduction to this legendary World Championship winning team from 2016. It is an all-star team, Ben. Where do you think they've gone wrong since TI though? Because they haven't been the same team, have they?
I was talking to Jack a bit, and he said that they've just been constantly doing stuff that's not playing Dota. They've been having interviews, having meetings, having speeches, just, you know, what normal celebrities do, I suppose, when they're not
Yeah.
actually doing their craft. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, they've just had to devote way too much of their time not playing Dota. And I would say the only one that's been equal or better than his TI form is Faith,
Yep.
and everyone else has gone a little bit down.
I suppose we
Just a
should be
little bit.
thankful, Shiva, they didn't disappear for 3 months playing RPGs after
That-
they won
that's
TI.
true, I
Because that's
think.
happened before.
Well, it's also partly because all the tournaments that they did play in, they were directly invited. So they just accepted the direct invites and, you know, went with the calm pass, if you will. Just, you know, playing those. And everything that they played in wasn't really that amazing. It was just, you know, they played, didn't necessarily get last, but also never really made it very far.
They did have some ingenuity though. Like when we went to Starlighter, we did see them at least like bring out that like Invoker Panda or Invoker
Yeah.
Brewmaster, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, Wings is back!" when they saw that game. And then the next game, it was like, "Well,
Yeah.
they just had that one trick
Is that
up their
not
sleeves."
the story though of their last few months? Even in the group stages, you look at
Shadow
they go to one,
Shaman.
they go to one
Yeah, they
series
get
and
the
they
one
look
thing.
absolutely incredible in a series. They win 2-0. You think, okay, brilliant. They go into LFY's match and they lose 2-0 really easily and really badly as well. They're just super inconsistent at the moment.
I think that's a telltale what like Ben was kind of like getting at. When they were dominant last year, these guys were playing, 12, 15 hours a day nonstop, just every single hero. That's why we saw such variety in their draft and everything. We still see the variety, but they're not fiending as much as they were. These guys are not playing at any level like that
It's
because
funny.
of no time.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We often talk about the teams that start off as qualifying teams because they don't get an invite because they're not well known. They play an absolute ton of Dota 2. They play against everyone and anyone. They build up a massive knowledge of the patch or whatever it is that they're doing. And then they get to a point where they don't have to qualify anymore. And suddenly the practice goes down and the amount of qualifiers goes down. Secret, I think, is a very good example of it a year and a bit ago. Why do teams do that? Why don't they stick to the recipe for success, Ben?
Just you don't have any need to play them. You're like, oh, okay, we're already invited to this tournament. We don't have to play as much, and maybe even just like NP, they don't have anything to really play for. They already qualify for DAC. They're kind of happy, and then they just
maybe you get complacent. Is that a thing?
But yeah, maybe
they're definitely complacent.
At the same time, you don't really have an opportunity to play those qualifiers. So it's also scrims are not the same as actually playing for a result and getting there. I don't know. It's a tough situation because I think that EG is also one of the teams. I mean, they're in the lower bracket as well. They haven't looked as good as people were expecting them to.
Yeah, let's talk EG and we'll show you the lineups at the same time. Again, another legendary team.
They got smoked in the 1v1s, though.
They got smoked in the 1v1s.
That's okay. They're allowed to. Isn't that for fun, Ben? Do you not know about this?
What? These guys have egos to uphold.
I want to say, though, Arteezy did not... I mean, he had a 20-minute match. He definitely won the early game.
He lost, though.
And then, but he won the early game. He could show off that he can play.
You're going to tell MP that? They won the early game and then they lost?
We're missing Sumail on the roster right now.
No, we're not.
He's invisible.
He's just invis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's TA. It's melted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good. But
let's talk about Sumail as well, in particular, and this EG team, Shiva, because there have been moments where the flashes that we saw before at some of the big tournaments, particularly here 2 years ago, actually, at DAC, where he really started to shine. We've seen that kind of Sumail form come back again.
We have, and it's showing in Sumail already. I mean, you heard it earlier today. Who is the most mechanically skilled player? Obviously, a lot of people are going to say Sumail because he really is, and he always wants to be the best. And in terms of that drive, he never lost that flashiness ever. Yeah. I do feel like this tournament, people are starting to realize, like, hey, let's focus Sumail a little bit. Yeah. And he just hasn't been having the chance as much as he used to. People maybe underestimated him before. They don't anymore.
I think he's also getting a lot of weight on his shoulders. I think EG is not really playing to their peak level across the board. I think the four of them maybe need to pick it up, not to put so much pressure onto Sumail. Because in a lot of those games, like his Invoker is like probably one of the only standout things that's really coming out in my mind.
Although I would argue, Ben, just on the flip side of that, to keep things balanced, there have been games where it almost seems like it's 4 Protect 1 at times, which is not the kind of EG game we would normally expect to see.
There's been some strange things, like Universe not really delivering on some of the initiators. I saw him on Magnus, and he was not able to hit any RPs. I saw Arteezy playing Bloodseeker, and he went Solar Crest Halberd on Bloodseeker first.
We won't talk about that game.
Please, can you not tilt Ben already on the panel?
Come on, dude, don't talk about that game.
Some games of Evil Geniuses were pretty painful to watch for EG fans. And then there was Sumail still carrying the... Like, it was a game where he was Alchemist. He gave everybody Ags and started giving people the stones and Moonstars, that one. Yeah. Hyperstones in a way, effectively. Totally where I was going with that.
It was 8 Hyperstones on the courier at one point.
Yeah, that's crazy. He tried. At the same time, I kind of feel like it starts for EG anyway, and with Wings as well, I guess, both ways with the draft. It's just not been the solid drafting that we are used to from EG.
Yeah, we've seen some odd, I wouldn't say odd choices, but some slight changes to the way that players would play. For instance, Arteezy's had this lifestealer, had it for a couple of games where they won both the games. He did not look comfortable though. It wasn't the kind of hero that really lends itself to his style of play, and he had to almost become this I soak up lots of damage and let Sumail take all the glory kind of play, and it didn't seem to suit him. But I mean, Peter said, well, if that's what he has to do, then winning cures everything, right? He'll just take it because they've won. So I guess there's that. But what do you think? What best of one now? That's the problem they've got, isn't it?
I think that's the problem, but I think that they're probably going to just be like locked in their heads right now. Like EG, especially when we were doing Boston, when we like watched those games and we saw them, they came back right into form right after they like had that big loss during the lower bracket, and it was like bam.
And it was against
EG came back, and it was against Wings as well. Yeah. So I think that they're going to have a lot more prepped and planned for this one. As hard as it is to prep and playing for Wings, I think they're just going to stick to their own game plan, just be in their own minds for that.
Ben, if you discount first day, which EG had a poor first day in the group stage, for the rest of that group stage, they look pretty good. I mean, second day, they look very good. And then, obviously, third day could have finished in the top 2. Similar to MP, could have finished in the top 2 if they won the 2-0 at the end of the day. So they were close to being in the upper bracket. Do you feel like they have the advantage going into this? this particular matchup over Wings?
Definitely. I think that our teamwork is just overall better than Wings. Their drafts, and yeah, they make mistakes here and there, but I think Wings make way too many mistakes. You remember Star Ladder where Juggernaut didn't ulti the Terrorblade at the Shrine? That exact thing happened in the group stage.
I didn't get to see that. Wait, really?
Yeah, and it was
I know exactly the moment you're talking about.
It was Blink on Juggernaut instead of Shadow.
The one who, like, the Rubik lifted and he had Centaur, he Centaur stuff, and the Jug just starts spinning instead of Omni Slash the Terrorblade. I remember exactly.
They lost some momentum after that. And I was like, wow, how did that same thing happen right next to the Shrine again? It was unbelievable. And those are like really big mistakes that pre-TI Wings we wouldn't have seen, and now it's just commonplace apparently.
Well, we did say the inconsistency.
Yep, it's still there.
So I guess that's still going to be there.
It is still there. We are into the draft.
Oh, baby.
And we do have it up on the screen for you. So we've got a Monkey King Lina for EG. No massive surprises that we've seen that, I guess. They've probably been playing for the last 2 days as well. And an Invoker, but not for EG on the wing side of things.
I'm not too sad to see Blink Invoker. It's going to be interesting to see, though. I like the opening of EG.
Do they want Brew? Did they first phase Brew? Maybe?
I mean, they did it.
They did it.
They did before.
They did
I mean, people were banning it 3rd, 4th against them if they weren't grabbing it in the first 2. EG's opening, though, is, I mean, Invoker is not the strongest laner. He does take a little bit of time to get online. Lina, I mean, crushes Invoker already alone because you have that massive range advantage plus nuke to be able to push the wave in. And then Monkey King roaming in on you can be very obnoxious. So going for a Centaur second for Wing, so not going to go for the Brewmaster that we think just yet. Probably not at all.
I mean, the Brewmaster did get changed, right? Right after it got a nerf? Or did it not?
Did it?
I don't think so. No.
I think he got buffed.
I think some of his talents got changed a little bit and stuff, but I don't think he did. No, he still does the same damage. The Pulverize and everything is still identical.
My bad.
No, it's cool.
All right, so which opening do you like more?
I like EG's. It's a little...
It's very in the meta right now, isn't it?
Yep. Monkey King gives you a lot. A lot of team fight, a lot of roaming potential. Lina's a lane dominator, so right now they're already focused mostly on lanes, but then they have the potential for the team fights too with Monkey King if he has a good start.
But that's the point, though. If he has a good start, I feel like Wings' draft is more solid. EG, they have to do things. I mean, I know it's only 2 heroes.
I'm like, gee, whoa.
They gotta get stuff done, though.
I know, but it still feels like they have, the ball's in their court.
What about
Is it too early to tell?
what about bans? We didn't talk about the first phase bans.
There's still Earth Spirit actually left in the pool. Yep. EG have been sagging up in the first phase a lot, but not this game, and usually Zai's the Monkey King player, so still a crit hero available for them, although I don't know if they want to double up on the roam, because then their lane is going to be terrible in the safe lane.
Yeah, it feels a little bit too greedy.
Are you surprised by the Wisp ban in the first phase? We've seen a few of them, haven't we?
And most of them banned against EG.
Yeah.
It's just something that you don't want to play against.
I have to say I did, well, we've been at the LAN Center a couple of days, and we did actually see them playing some Wisp and stuff in pubs. Actually, I've been seeing some Wisp, some Bloodseeker and everything being played by Crit, etc. So maybe Wings could be thinking that. Maybe Wings just doesn't want to play versus the hero. Maybe in scrims. That's usually a bit hard to tell.
Maybe they bumped into them on some of the pubs.
Maybe. Definitely possible.
Definitely possible. All right, what do we read into the Sand King ban? Do we read anything into it?
Just lockdown. Lockdown inside of Monkey King ult is always good. Set up for the Lina. Big team fight. Naga banned out from EG.
They haven't been playing that much Naga at all. I'm really surprised they banned out the Naga.
Maybe you could say something about what EG is planning on doing.
Maybe they just don't want to deal with some super late gamey lineup with Invoker Naga, right?
That would be painful.
That would be that would be brutal.
Very painful.
During the group stages, EG had a lot of issues with Alchemist. Are we expecting to see that come up here? I mean, with Lina already obviously picked
usually
up.
Blink plays it.
Usually Blink would be playing it, so.
And they...
So I guess with Sumail probably playing Lina and Blink playing Invoker, we're not going to see it?
I don't think so.
Silencer banned out.
I mean, usually they're going to try and get out early supports, aren't they? That's what Crit likes to do. It's a very similar kind of drafting style to the way that PBD did it, where he tries to lead his carry and his mid until 4-5 picks. But obviously that's going to be changed here.
Watching Crit's thinking face.
Yeah.
Thinking why they banned the silencer, just to be able to...
What here? Enigma, maybe? I don't know.
Right, I'm trying to think, because I know, it's incredibly obnoxious as an Invoker when you're playing versus Silencer, because you can stack up the Arcane Curse on yourself, and just Global always messes up your combos with Centaur. If they want to maybe build to always like set up with the Centaur stun into like a Sunstrike, Global can kind of mess with your combinations.
It could be also that EG probably wants to fight inside the Monkey King ult, so Centaur can't ult and he can't run away if Global Silence comes out.
That's true.
But it would also mean that the Silence will be played as support, which is, I don't know, not that amazing.
They don't even have any way to keep them inside the Monkey King ult, though. They probably need like a bat or something like that. Bat.
Yeah.
What other ones are there? Starter Lifesteal is still available.
They can vacuum back.
No,
Lifesteal is
no,
done, yeah, they got rid of
Lifesteal.
Lifesteal early.
I'm trying to think any way for them to keep inside the Monkey King ult too. Or any good setup for Lina.
That's what the tanking ban was pretty good for them. So they're just going to do the CM, the Monkey King CM pairing that we do see, because, I mean, Monkey King lacks a little bit of mana and setup in the early laning phase, so CM does help for that. Very magic-oriented already from EG, except for the Monkey King ult right now.
And I think the Wings pick Rubik is just very solid. There's a lot of good stuff to steal already. There's, like, you can't really steal a bad spell from Lina. That already is good. Doesn't really give anything away about what they're planning on doing though.
I think that's the big one, yeah. It doesn't give anything away, gives them a little bit more like the no field, helps them in team fight, which now they have, I mean, with the Centaur and Invoker, they're already pretty dominant in fights. Gives them more setup.
Hey, Universe Puck comes
Universe
back.
Puck.
When he played it during the group stages, it was really good.
It was very good, wasn't it?
They're going to need a pretty... Oh,
hey,
they go for the brew anyway.
I like
it. We've been talking about the Invoker Brewmaster, and they actually go for it, so, I mean... We did say they did have like their one trick up their sleeves, and it looks like they're trying to go for it again.
There was some cheese potential.
And EG already, which a little thing that concerns me is that there's already a Brewmaster on the field, and EG is already kind of running a, like we mentioned before, a little bit of a 4-protect-1 in a way. I mean, Lina does scale. Of course, you do get the minus respawn time, and everyone goes for the damage talent. But Sumail is actually one of the players that goes for the damage on the Lightstrike array multiple times. At least in the group stages, he was doing that.
You think he's going to be so bold to do it again? I think
I don't know.
The respawn thing was just so good.
He did, I think, twice in the group stages, I want to say. But
I'm going to have enough Bloodstone charges. I don't need that.
Brewmaster, I was getting to, Arteezy's probably going to be playing some like hard carry or something. If Brewmaster's able to get a good split and throw Arteezy in the air, that's like a lot of their late game potential. But they do have a lot of magical bursts right now. But I definitely want them to pick up something very heavy physical coming out from EG next.
And BKB carrier as well.
Yeah, BKB carries one.
They ban out the Drow. Woo! And they take the Doom.
So during the ride here, I had to listen to people calling Doom. How bad is it? Was it you?
Was that me?
I think that might have been Fogged.
It was Fogged.
Oh, you played him yesterday.
We're not mentioning that. No. Anyway,
God.
back to the draft. Doom, though, it's kind of the same concept that I was kind of going on. Now there's more like one single kind of core for EG. Doom is going to be another devastating thing with the Panda. They're able to actually just segregate that a lot. So. That's a, I don't know. I'm just going to not talk about my hate for Doom. I had a horrible pub with it. I think I don't like the hero ever again.
And the Spectre.
So they do go for the Spectre, so very late game oriented carry.
I mean, honestly, when you look at this, Ben, you'd have to say that looks like a very EG lineup, and that looks like a very Wings lineup.
Yep.
They've literally got whatever they wanted, both teams.
I like it. It's going to be fun.
I like the Puck. I like Puck Spectre combo. We used to see it, I think, almost like a year and a half ago. People were, as soon as you hit 6 on both heroes, you're able to team fight very heavily. Spectre gets involved quickly.
Puck Monkey King too.
Puck Monkey King as well.
Oh God!
They've got
ultimate.
They've got grab for the Monkey King ult now. So.
All right, very quickly, let's go down the line. Ben, which way is this going?
I don't believe in the Doom really, so I'm gonna go with EG.
Okay.
Doesn't feel good.
EG fangirl, which way are you going?
Hey, I'm not a fangirl. I think it's so difficult. It's so close, but I think Ben going EG makes me think maybe it's
don't go
okay. 2 for EG.
Like,
Fogged.
I hate Doom. I'm gonna go EG.
3 out of 3
Sorry.
for EG. You guys are so boring.
I do not like Doom.
Time to head over to our commentary box where Doom is not liked up here. I wonder if it's liked any better down there.
Well, Reda, I can't quite believe what we're seeing here. We have got an insane lineup from both of these teams in this best of one. Everything on the line. We'll see who's going to win, who's going to end up in the bin. It's EG versus Wings. I'm only picking some here with Gods. Guys, talk to me about some of these heroes. We've already heard what the panel says about Doom. Indeed, as Red Eyes said, Fog's been on about it all day. He's been like, I can't win with this hero, and they picked it on Wings, gods.
Just because Fog can't play the hero, it doesn't mean the rest of us can't play the hero. Nah, Doom has been very, very situational. He's got a ton of buffs, but I think I've only seen one good Doom game, and that was from ROTK during Star Ladder, so not the easiest hero to always win games with, but we'll see what Ice Ice can do. I think it's less about the Doom and much more about the Invoker Brewmaster and what these two heroes do together.
Yeah, we saw back at Star Series, we saw the combination. When it came out, everyone was like, oh my goodness, this is imbalanced, they need to nerf this, everyone's going to be doing it. No one did it. And then Wings are back here, and they're ready to show its strength again. And I mean, how strong is it, do you feel?
I mean, if you're in a situation where you can push high ground, incredibly strong, but end of the day, you still have to have Brewmaster pushing racks. So you have to get your heroes there. You have to win your lanes, you have to do well in the mid game. And if you can't do well enough in your lanes and mid games, it doesn't matter that you have this strong pushing combo because you never get to a point where you're taking racks. And that's where I think the question marks arise around the rest of the draft. Double D-ward from EG. Whoa, that is a good start.
They've been doing their research. They know where Wings wants to go, and they're going to make sure that it's taken away from them.
I mean, I wonder if they just watch some of Wings replays and they're wanting these same spots every game. All right, let's use this. That's what coaches are out there for. That's probably a lot of what Fear brings to the table in this team, and makes a big difference, that vision. Much more so mid to late game, but even early game with rotations. This frees up the Monkey King a lot more, much less likely to be spotted rotating around, a lot harder to pressure the puck if he falls back, to his jungle. He can kind of cliff jungle by his shrine, so definitely a nice little start for EG.
I mean, this is the thing. You look at EG, they're going to have Zion, the Monkey King, roaming about. Over on the side of Wings, you're going to have Ice Ice on the Doom. I mean, how can a Doom achieve as much as a Monkey King? This is a hero it's very hard to be effective in this laning stage, isn't it, as a Doom in its current state?
One will farm, one will, roam and pressure the lanes a bit more. Doom, at least once he gets a couple of levels, Doom kind of needs to have a point in at least a couple of his spells. He can't gank with Devour, but with 1 point in each of his spells, he can start ganking. So Doom level 3, level 4, with boots and a nice creep, that's when he starts helping out a bit more.
So obviously, as we can see from the lane, Shadow indeed playing the safe lane Centaur, as supported up by Y.
Interesting to see what Zai's doing at bottom. He's gone for the Jingu, but top lane.
Well, look to get the timing right. Will he still get the chance to jaunt? He's not going to. Universe could potentially be in a little bit of trouble here. They will try and hunt for him for a little bit, go straight for the TP out, and he will make it. One won't be able to find him as he gets himself back to the shrine.
There's Monkey King, level 1 Jingu, who's just been trading hits with Brew to zone him. This is, it sounds like a suboptimal way to play the Monkey King, going for Jingu level 1, but if your safe lane is a hero like Spectre who needs to free farm, like the Spectres, the Anti-Mages, these weak laning heroes that need free farm, supporting this lane is going to go a long way, and you don't really want to trade hits with a Monkey King. He's going to get the better of you, because once he gets that 4th Jingu stack, he starts lifestealing, he gets bonus damage. This is not an exchange you're going to win as a Brew.
Looking at the mid lane matchup at the moment, Sumail 8 for 3, Blink 4 for 1. Sumail having the stronger time. It's pretty much expected in a 1v1, or is it just Sumail being Sumail?
It's the combo, Lina being the better here at the early levels, at most levels, and also, Sumail mechanically very good player.
Oh, hello. He's going in for it, but again, with the missed chance. Had to get it level 1. Certainly working at keeping himself alive, but this Brew is struggling to find much from this offlane.
It's fantastic, because this means CM isn't even zoning. CM is just jungling away. So we're seeing already the point in the aura, level 2.5. Won't probably see even the fast level 3 on crit. At that point, you can either pick up the smoke, get the Crystal Nova, and go for a gank, or you can even get a second point in aura to help your lanes. This is going to mean Sumail wins his lane even harder, because he's got that extra mana to just keep throwing spells at Blink.
Absolutely, really forcing Blink back it. The CS difference pretty insane for the first 3 minutes, as we can already see.
The lanes aren't going well, and it's up to the Doom to fix that. So he's going to start getting active early, maybe earlier than he would have wanted to.
This could be a bit of a surprise for Sumail. He's not expecting this one. He hasn't seen this hero for a few patches, and straight in, surrounded by the two of them, falling low, but crit just in time with the rotations, holds Ice Ice back, and Sumail will be A-OK. Crit turning up just in time, and the Doom has to wander back to his own jungle and continue the farm.
Felt like Doom ganked earlier than he wanted to. He's not level 3 yet. If he has Infernal Blade there, guaranteed kill. It's a lot more extra damage. It's an extra little mini stun, so no Infernal Blade is the reason they don't get that kill. And Doom was like 1 creep away from hitting level 3, so I feel like waiting for that level 3 would have been the better way to take that.
And bottom lane, Zai. He's been persistent on the monkey, jumps on a tree, Sunstrike isn't going to be on point, so Zai will get out, and this has got to be, it's got to be so frustrating for Faith Bian down on this bottom lane.
He got solo killed. Did Spectre didn't even throw a dagger. Has full mana. It looks like she hasn't even thrown a dagger, at least not for that kill then.
No, for sure not, yeah.
Well,
Faith
really good stuff.
still sitting at level 1, really struggling to find the experience from that bottom lane.
Yeah, this is Dream laning setup, and Wings need to do something about it. We'll see what the Doom's next big move is going to be, if he can make any kind of rotation. Has hit level 3, so has the Infernal Blade point, but this move is walking past 2 Observer Wards. There's zero chance
and
it
they're
works.
ready for it. They want to turn it around. Zai and Crit coming up under the cover of smoke, prepared to protect that mid lane, but Ice Ice is going to decide against it. Well, I said he's kind of wavering in between each half of the map.
Kind of
now maybe looks towards the bottom.
Yeah, risky to just be walking around the river, knowing your opponent's very likely a vision of that area.
Zai looking to try and get something done mid. Blink very, very low at the moment. Jump down, has the boundless strike. Stun duration, of course, at level 1. Not going to be long enough to allow the team to set up, but it is forcing Blink right back and out of this lane, where Sumail continues to have that lead, doubling the CS of the Invoker.
Didn't get the Primal Spring off. Not sure if that was a misclick or just didn't think you could get the kill there. But he's going to swoop on in, make sure that there's no one jungling around looking for that Doom or someone, but Doom has managed to make his way down bottom undetected. Could possibly cause some problems here.
Crit heading down as well. Zai looking for the lead in with the Primal Spring, trying to go in on Faith Beyond. But indeed, with Ice Ice's presence, looks like it's going to be enough to hold back the Monkey King. Well, 2 of them will have to back up underneath their tower. Zai just piling on the pressure on these lanes.
Yeah, this is looking really good for them. Sumail going to keep up in the heat in mid lane. He's winning handily the CS battle. Arteezy free farming.
Oh, bottom lane, Faith Beyond's in trouble again. The dagger's in. Zai jumps straight down, and EG with their second kill. This time going to Arteezy.
He's got Midas. His recipe is on the courier. He's got it. 6-minute Midas. This is not a hero that normally gets Midas, but when you've got a complete utter free farm lane, courtesy of the Monkey King, why not? This is going to power 11. It's going to be picked up at such an early time that this will definitely pay dividends.
I mean, what's the plan with this if you're Wings? I mean, it looks like such a rough laning stage already. I mean, the saving grace, kind of, I guess, is the fact you have Shadow on that safe lane Centaur. He's going to be able to hit relatively good timings, but he's going for the hook first. The blink is going to be postponed. I mean, when as Wings do you start being able to make things happen that go in your favor?
Stampede could be an opportunity to set some kills, but yeah, using the Doom and using the Stampede are probably the 2 big things there.
Ice Ice coming towards the mid again. Zai is in the neighborhood. Will try and hold back Blink, but already there we have the catch as they blow down Sumail. And Zai, he's in trouble as well, as this time the rotation from Ice Ice works out as they have Y as well, coming in with the haste rune. Enough lockdown and enough control to easily dispatch there the 2 members of EG and getting themselves even on the kills.
Sumail was playing very aggressive there, but it's because he had a kill on Blink. If they managed to get the jump first, Blink goes down. They were trying to set up a Boundless Strike into Dragon Slave Laguna combo, and if those Wing supports had rotated like 5 seconds later, it would have been a kill going the way of EG and potentially no response. So definitely the quick moves from Wings paying off, and we'll see if they can kind of maintain these pickoffs. They need to try and take advantage of the fact that Arteezy with this Midas can't really gank all too well. It's not that Phase Boots earn Spectre. Theoretically could have both those items right now, but without them, he doesn't really want to use this Haunt. He just wants to sit bottom, continue to farm, at least until he has the Phase Boots at a minimum.
Already we can see that combo ready to try and go again. The 2 of them, White and Ice Ice, heading towards the bottom, but already that ward, as we saw, Deep Radiant Observer ward on the high ground, did spot out this movement, so EG, they know exactly what's up. Arteezy is already backing himself right away from these 2 and making sure that he doesn't get caught out by this rotation.
Even saw the Dire ward being planted, it looks like, so will likely let his team know.
He's going to get run down a little bit here. We are going to see a pause call for, I mean, Arteezy should be safe. I believe he has still got the dagger. Infernal Blade already used, so should be able to out-juke this the Doom.
Yeah, not much will happen between those 2. Spectre can just get the hell away from them if they need to. Nice scenic Lina shot there. But yeah, so this is, I mean, dream start for Spectre when you can go for a Midas rush and get away with it, and your team doesn't need you to be ganking. A lot of games, a hero like Spectre, there's a lot of pressure to hit level 6, start team fighting, but this team's basically said, look, our other lanes are being won. We don't have to actually get you helping out.
So we'll be able to steal the rune there from Arteezy, but Arteezy forces him away, getting a few hits in with the Desolate in the jungle.
Yeah, looks like RTZ is going to fall back and focus more on jungling to free up the safe lane, get Monkey King some levels, try to get him towards that level 6 as early as possible. And with the Midas Poor Man's Shield, Spectre jungles at a pretty decent rate.
Overlane so far, I mean, this top lane, Universe, is certainly getting a bit of space to this 1v1. At the same time, Shadow does have the hood complete. So he's a very hard kill if they want to try for it. They do have the rotation for Crit coming in. They are going to go for it. And with the Horn in as well, they're bringing in the 3 of them, and that will be enough damage indeed. The silence coming through perfectly, making sure no Who Stomp's there to hold EG back. And EG will be able to get a kill and get RTZ involved.
Yeah. I feel like Shadow could have maybe seen that. As soon as the puck is like right-clicking you, like he's not doing much damage. He's taking as much damage as he's dealing with the return. Should have been a telltale sign maybe that he was trying to set up for that one. And EG with a great rotation will get not just the kill, but the tower as well. So that free farming center, well, he just gave EG a big bounty as well as a tower, and there's no response in sight for Wings. All they're getting out of this is a bit of room for the Brew and bottom, bit of room for the Invoker at mid, but there's no tower, there's no kill going Wings' way.
Mid lane, maybe eyeing up Sumail. They will lead in with the Cold Snap and the Infernal Blade. Have they got enough damage to bring him down? He dodges the meatball. Crit's come in with the rotation. In fact, holding high sights, it plays under the tower, and it'll be EG who turn around. Again, an aggressive movement from Wings. Eyesight's just getting a little too friendly there with the tower.
I like the build from Sumail, going for the phase boots. That saves his life there. If he's gone for like the arcane boots or just casual brown boots without that movement speed burst, it's very unlikely to be able to survive that. And a nice move as he was able to get the nice bit of extra bonus movement speed, get away to dodge that meteor, and things go from bad to worse for Wings, who have found very little success outside that one rotation mid where they got the 2 kills. 3-4 rotations have just completely and utterly failed or even backfired in that case.
Looking at the goal progress, Fabian, 1500 towards his Blink. We saw Blink himself, the Invoker in the mid lane, about 600 away from the Midas, I believe. So still looking to close that gap.
I wonder if they're discussing whether to get like a Midas on Brew even.
True.
Could go for like a greedy option, but it sounds like, as I said, too greedy maybe with Invoker also going for the Midas, but potentially Central will get the Blink and they'll just be happy with the 1 Blink initiator, and Brew can go a bit greedier.
Well, time for the side of Wings to try and make a bit of a play as they come towards the mid lane. They have that split. They want to try and get Sumail. That's the big one. There we go with the lead in. The Stampede trying to close the gap. Sumail tries to get away with the phase boost, but he's not quite quick enough. Gets around it, does get the Laguna off and takes the Rubik down on the way out. Still making them really work for it there as they hold them back with a Boundless Strike, but they do get Sumail. So Wings with the successful rotation. They get that mid hero they want, but Zai, actually eyeing up the Courier, isn't going to go for it. Maybe feeling that he didn't have the damage and speed to chase it down. But yeah, bringing down Sumail, something that Wings desperately needed to do. He was having a perfect time in that mid lane and certainly getting ahead of Blink.
TP out from Central. That could have been another death for him with the Spectre on. He did not want to stick around that top lane any longer, with good reason. Very hard for anyone to be solo farming right now. If Puck plus Spectre can kill almost anyone, Monkey King is roaming around very actively. The Spectre with this phase Midas is such a dangerous hero to have farming a lane because of the fact that she can just show up anywhere for a gank. Puck with that great setup as well to find those kills.
Blink's got to be careful about getting low here. There's a smoke coming in from EG. Zai with the eyes on the Invoker jumps forward, gets the Boundless Strike, and that will allow Sumail to close the gap, hit the Light Strike, and RTZ once again making sure that he joins in the action, gets a bit of a share of the kill. And
Didn't need ulti there, but not the end of the world. Wasn't really doing much in the bottom. The bottom lane was becoming a bit of a tough spot for him to continue farming, and the jungle was largely cleared out, so. Another haunt used to secure a tower. That's the big thing here. EG aren't just using these haunts, finding pickoffs. They're getting towers off of it, and RTZ getting very farmed as a result.
Absolutely. Midas phase into Radiance will be the build. Tour this game. Blink Dagger now complete on Universe. Has the Dream Coil back available again. Zai keeping eyes consistently on Blink, and you can see with the deep Radiant wards as well, they've got such good vision. EG, there's the follow through lockdown, the Laguna from Sumail sending Blink straight back to the fountain.
Yeah, Boundless Strike as a long range initiation tool, so fantastic in the early game. He's maxed it out, so full 2 seconds done. It's a guaranteed setup for the Lina if she's anywhere in range. And again, that's where the phase boots pay off. You're able to get that movement speed burst to getting close. Without that, perhaps the stun duration isn't long enough, but really liking that Sumail isn't just going for that same like arcane boots into Bloodstone Lina build that we always see. The phase boots have, this is like a perfect example of a game where you see why alternative builds can be effective. And hey, LSA damage, you know, you don't need minus respawn time if you don't die. That's
I was going to say, that is something I want to say that we've not really seen any of the Linas in this tournament go for. They over respawn.
Lina, Sumail did himself. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a Sumail.
Last game he played the Lina, he went for the LSA damage, and he just wants to be more aggressive, doesn't want to be trading his life necessarily. He has died twice this game, gotten ganked, but ultimately he's benefited from that extra damage. And the really nice thing about the LSA damage is you can instantly clear a creep wave with the LSA Dragon Slave, which without the LSA damage you don't get.
Wings starting to get some big pickups themselves, crucial ones. Blink finally with the Midas complete. Faith Bian on that Brewmaster now with his Blink Dagger. Shadow as well, just 100 until he has his online as well. So the Blinks will be there, the initiation is there from Wings. They've just got to find the way to play around and into EG. And as we can see again over on Wings' side of the map, 3 Radiant Wards, giving them very, very clear vision on what Wings will be up to as they come across. And at the same time, Wings, they do just have that 1 Dire Observer Ward deep in EG's jungle.
Yeah, they haven't been able to find any value from that Brewmaster split yet, even with the Blink, perhaps waiting for getting the double Blink daggers. But then you look at the elusiveness of heroes like Puck. Puck is just kind of solo pushing this top lane, can split push, doesn't really easily get caught out, and has a Blink very early on, is going back for a Midas, I think recognizing that this game may slow down, enter a farming stage, and there's no real other items you need beyond the Blink dagger. It's going to be multiple Midas gaming, CM building one as well, so the greed from the supports in the offlane is something we're seeing a lot in this current patch. Games are going a bit longer, at least so far here at DAC, and that's something where Midas on offlaners supports always pays off.
I mean, for Wings, is it just the Spectre that's the biggest issue? Is that the hero you're looking to try and catch out? I mean, surely if you can knock down Arteezy a few times on this road to Radiance, you're going to be in a pretty good position, especially compared to how Wings are standing now against DG's early.
He's the best kill to go for because you try and gank the rest of his team who may be grouped together. Spectre haunts in and it turns into a big chaotic fight where Spectre may clean up kills. You go for Spectre, it's a hero that's often farming alone, be it in the jungle, the bottom lane. You can see on the minimap, like right now, he's just down bottom farming by himself. It's a very independent hero. So you gank the Spectre, the chance of a response is minimal. You gank a Puck, he's hard to kill, and Spectre backs him up. Lina maybe comes in to back him up. So you're just worried about the TP rotations when you make a move towards Arteezy, whereas you make a move for someone else, it's TP rotations, Spectre rotations. Monkey King isn't going to be positioned defensively in the bottom side of the map. He's going to be on the other side of the map trying to get wards down, trying to scout out and get vision for his team.
Team fight as well. I mean, both teams certainly have strong elements. EG, of course, the whole sort of synergy. As long as Universe can hit that Dream Coil, you know, just forcing people to stand in the Wukong's command, in the freezing field from crit. It's a lot of pain, a lot of damage, but at the same time, Wings, they've got lots of ways to kind of break up the fight, haven't they? With tornadoes, with stampedes. They could certainly play around EG's initiation.
Yeah, you can just throw up the Spectre and ignore her in the fights with the Brewmaster Cyclone. I think realistically what Wings want to do is just put themselves in a position where they can actually break towers with that Invoker Brewmaster combo, which is very hard to do because it feels like they're going to need the Brew split for an actual team fight itself. So it's going to be a kind of a slow road to recover, but they've got to start using those ultimates. They've got the Blink daggers up. This is where Wings really want to start chewing through their smokes, finding some key pickoffs, and not just pickoffs, but towers to go with it.
I do apologize, of course, just for this slight pause. Looks to be, well, Sonid issues. I can only imagine crit means sound. As, hopefully we will be able to get the game back on its way very shortly. Build, of course, for Sumail. This game we talked about the talent build. Item-wise phase, Yules, Ether Lens, and then with this build, does he go back for the Bloodstone Shadowblade kind of sorts that we see others Linas go for, or do you think we will see some variation in Sumail?
There's a good chance he might still go back for the Bloodstone. Yeah. I want to say last time I saw him do this build, he went phase Yules and then Bloodstone.
Okay.
Didn't go the Aether Lens, but it's one of those items which is still great. Like you build up those charges, you get the low respawn time, you lose less gold, and I think also importantly it tanks you up as a Lina. Like you looked at Sumail there, he's got like sub 1k HP, he's fairly squishy. And in a fight, if he's getting jumped on by Centaur, by Brew, he maybe needs that extra bit of sustain and HP from a Bloodstone, so it's definitely an option. But Shadowblade also great to find pickoffs, to get initiations on heroes like Centaur, Brewmaster. Try jump them before they jump you. And we'll see exactly what he wants to do. But yeah, he's very farmed. He's had a fantastic start to this game. Monkey King has been, I'd say like right now, Monkey King's been the key to this early game for EG. He dominated that safe lane, he roamed around, got a lot of key wards down. The vision game scouted Doom. Every time Doom tried to, well not every time, but the majority of the times he tried to rotate down bottom towards mid lane. Anytime he was going through that Radiant jungle, he was being spotted, so Zai on that has been absolutely instrumental to EG's success.
And it really felt like Faith Bian just wasn't, you know, he kind of underestimated Monkey King in a sense, similar to the way that we saw people do when he first came out. I mean, dying solo to the Monkey King effectively, you know, with Zai zoning him out, building up the Jingu mastery. It's a little bit surprising. And of course, going down the subsequent time with the help of Arteezy. It looks like we are ready to get ourselves back into the cast. As EG, of course, at the moment, 7 for 3, leading as well in terms of the farm, from about 5k lead at the moment early on.
It's a pretty big lead to have for 14 minutes in. You're not getting a large amount of kills. You're getting a few towers here, but yeah, the key thing is when they've gotten kills, they've gotten towers, and they're also just farming better. They're doing this with a Midas on Arteezy, and they're going back for a Midas on Puck, so. And there you go. You can see Arteezy seems wary that his jungle is completely unprotected. Anyone can be in there. He does not want to get caught while the rest of his team are on the north side of the map.
Absolutely. Yeah, with the vision that EG have over Wings jungle as well, not seeing any kind of Doom or anyone walk around the camps.
They seem to know he's there. I think he popped out to use his Midas. And as a result, they may realize that he's in the area, but they also probably at this point like, well, if he's tucked away, it means he's wary of what's going on.
They've got it confirmed now.
Yeah.
They started to back away, but now moving straight back down around Ice, but yeah, Arteezy, as soon as the Doom's in, he's out. Gets himself away to the shrine.
He could stick around if his team was willing to bait him, but at that point it looked like the rest of the team were like, nah, we don't really want to go into an area where there's no vision. I think the key thing in the mid game is always fight around where your wards are. And if your opponents have wards in an area and you're taking a fight there, it's bad news.
We have it, though. They found Zai instantly in and the Monkey King out.
I think that ward spots him jumping there. They
just on the edge.
Yeah, he's just on the edge of the ward vision, and I think Zai maybe likely realizes like, okay, that was a ward there. That's why he gets caught. That's like a very forgivable death, and nothing really misplayed there. He gets the scouting info for his team. He gets the knowledge. Now, all right, confirms that they are in fact at bottom lane. He tries to achieve without dying, of course, but sometimes you get caught.
And this is resulting in a great bit of action for Wing. As they look to take a tier 2 down bottom.
Yep.
Also kind of nice. Y managed to grab his, get his hands on the tree dance. So now they've got that vision to play with Wings. They can utilize this and try and get the one up on EG, as EG have pretty much had over them in these early game movements.
It's nice for them to focus their pushes in one lane too. Like they could go for all the tier 1s, but going for a tier 2 instead means if they get to a position where they can go high ground with that brew split alacrity, they'll actually be able to take tier 3s and racks very early on. So rather than trying to split their focus around 3 lanes, they do seem to be prioritizing the bottom lane and also just this bottom jungle, take away some of Spectre's farm.
Link, of course, continues to just focus on his farm, try and get that Axe in his best timing as he can. Midas now done for Universe as well as that Blink Dagger. So has his crucial items to keep the momentum going for himself, keep on pace with everyone, and as we can see, top 3 net worth all over the side of EG.
Yeah, Wings have a lot of work to do. These smoke moves need to connect. Investing time in this, and Rubik. With a stolen tree dance.
Looking to set up onto Universe, but Universe
he seed Rubik there. Definitely acted like he had.
Maybe caught wind of the golems moving.
Oh, Spectre's up pretty deep here.
And they did see him hide in that spot. Oh no, sorry, that's EG's ward, yeah.
Ward.
So Arteezy should be safe. Will just reveal himself, go for the TBS. Shadow does have a blink.
He
doesn't go for it blindly.
Doesn't know quite where Arteezy is there. He could like throw the dagger and then back up. You'd be blind. I mean, you may as well maybe try it, but he also doesn't know what we know, which is that Arteezy was like half HP.
And Blink just the last component away from his Aghanim's. Arteezy, few hundred gold, 300, and he'll have that relic on the road to the Radiance.
Yep.
So of course, very, very, very strong timing for this phase Midas Spectre.
Things are looking pretty good for EG. If this game slows down, that suits them just fine, considering they're the team with a couple minuses There is the Invoker minus. Whoa.
Bottom lane, Sumail just gets himself a free combo. Straight out to Faith Bian.
Imagine that was another boundless strike into LSA setup.
A very strong combo. Not a lot of heroes on Wings can survive that burst at this stage of the game, if any.
Oh, went looking for the Monkey King, but he was out. Zai showing proficiency on the Monkey Man.
At the least, Wings will be able to hold on to this tier 1 for a little bit of time. Top lane, though, Universe continues to get himself more and more space. Will be building into the Lincoln Sphere.
It's been a fairly quiet Universe game, but I feel like that's kind of been his role. Like, stay at that top lane split push. Big part of the Puck being in that top lane is that it's a hero that it's not really worth ganking, and also it's very hard to gank. If you want to actually be able to get a clean initiation off, there's no, like, you can theoretically phase or blink dodge a Centaur stun.
Actually going to try and go for it here. Stampede used to allow Wings to attempt to close the gap. Universe will have the orb again in a second, but gets held up into the Sunstrike of the Silence. They've got the control. Very nicely done there with that stolen silence.
Yeah, let's say stolen silence. Where'd that silence come from? Hard to gank, but he used his blink and orb aggressively, so I think Wings just saw an opportunity, kind of jinxed him there as he does eventually get caught out. He kind of pushed his limits there and does get punished.
Shadow, Heart next on the list for him. So just making sure that he can build himself up and really seems Wings just working towards that point where they are going to be able to get away with this Invoker Brew push that we know that they know how to utilize.
Yep. They seem confident taking a late game, which, considering they're up against Spectre and Midases, is definitely a bold statement, but they have tried to make moves. I think that's a big thing to know here. It's not like they're just like saying, all right, we'll go into a farming game. They've attempted a couple different smoke moves, and they've just completely backfired and failed for them. Spectre's Radiance up. This could be go time. Yeah, start making some Puck ganks. Maybe group up the Puck leaner, have Spectre farming, and then look to haunt in. They've got the smoke ready on crit, so that could be coming soon, but as it stands, Wings are ready to fight themselves.
Let's see what the plan is. As you can see the comparison between the two. RTZ in the lead with the net worth, and will go with the Horn as there's been a jump already onto Crit. Crit falling low, keeps himself low with the stick charges, but they continues to chase down with the Bruling. Sumail, Lagoon as the Doom straight out the fight. They will lose Crit. EG still trying to fight here. Universe comes in with the two-man Dream Core, holding Y and Shadow down. They'll look to try and find the Rubik first. They'll get it. 2 for 2 at the moment between the two sides. Now Blink's turned up. Looks to drop the Meteor straight onto Sumail, and with the cold snap, Sumail looking to be in a lot of trouble. He'll use himself, but they surround him, bring him down as well. Wings taking the fight as they bring 3.
Spectre is still bottom lane. He used the Haunter, looks like, but didn't actually reality in. Perhaps thought it was a bad fight, so he didn't want to reality in, or just thought his team could handle it without him, but doesn't show up, and that makes a big difference there, not being at that fight.
Big fight for Wings.
Yeah. I think that really was the difference there. If Spectre's there, Wings do not get away with all those kills. The extra kill on the leaner definitely doesn't happen, and potentially they lose more. Like, once that Brew split ends, Brewmaster shouldn't be able to really do all too much. The Spectre should be able to clean up heroes like the Brewmaster, even potentially the Centaur. He hasn't got his heart yet. He's tanky, but not tanky enough to survive a Spectre chasing him down with Radiance.
They certainly do need a few more of those fights though, Wings. One is not going to be good enough to close the gap that EG have created, this lead. Diffusal next in the lineup for RTZ. See a quick replay of the fight as EG will be going for a smoke. Hopefully we'll be able to step back in, but yeah, Crit tries with the freezing field, but Faith Bian getting a lot done there with the Brewlings to be incredibly disruptive. as we can see them pretty much clear up 3 of them.
I wonder if the Stampede killed all the Spectre Haunt illusions or something, because those, yeah, the Haunt was on cooldown at the start of that fight, it looked like, so potentially it was a Stampede or something, and then he couldn't actually rally in with the illusion instead. That may be one thing that he's got to kind of be worried about. If the Stampede does kill those illusions, you can't actually get the reality in.
Looks like the smoke then from EG did not end up in picking up a kill, as Wings seem to have avoided it here. Both movements on opposite sides of the map. Wings down towards the bottom. EG hunting around. Wings is jungle, but now they are going to make their way back down. See if they do head all the way. EG with all the ultimates at the same time, so is Wings. So they've got that split back up. Still a little time under the smoke, but it's going to come out. So EG don't have any vision in their own jungle, but it looks unlikely that both teams are going to clash into each other unless Wings do want to try and commit for the push. They've got that split. They've got the time to show off the alacrity brewing.
Not going for it though.
A little timid.
Yeah. I mean, you force a split in the tower. If you get some damage on the tower, but then on the retreat, you may get caught. Like, you're not going to have the split for the fight itself. And I think Wings are probably looking at this game right now like they're very farmed in their cores. If we want to win a team fight, we need split for the fight itself. So I think they're going to take a more cautious approach and wait till they like get a pick off or get like a more, at least even things up a bit in terms of net worth on the cores before they try and take that approach where they just brute force buildings with the primal split.
For sure, and the boost of travel on Blink is certainly going to help that. You know, just having that.
The nice boundless strike from Zai catches out 3 heroes or something in that chain stun, in the AoE stun.
And the crucial doom from Eyesight as well, securing this kill on the Spectre. It's been hard for Eyesight to really show us his stuff in these first 25 minutes. You can argue how effective the Doom's been, but that one play there makes that fight not a complete disaster for Wings, even though they lose the majority.
They're going to get their double BKBs fairly soon with the Doom and the Invoker both going for those, and that's where they'll definitely get more potent in these upcoming team fights. EG themselves on the move, perhaps looking to find a fight with the 4-man unit. Spectre Haunt won't be up quite yet, though.
Very close to having Zai's Basher. Pretty big game changer in terms of the effectiveness of his ultimate in these team fights. A lot of control and a lot of nuisance for Wings here. If they do get trapped in it.
Or TZ just pinging bottom, so he seems to, I mean, he knows the Invoker's there, the Forward Spirits come out, so he's not even going to show himself in the bottom lane.
And Wings starting to take a bit what they can from EG's half of the map. Getting those wards down as well.
We recognize, like, okay, this Spectre, if completely ignored, is going to destroy us. So that's why last fight he was #1 Doom target. Any upcoming fights, Arteezy needs to try and enter and as late as possible. Enter and be very disruptive when spells have been already thrown out.
Oh, Heart we have now on Shadow. And we'll be queuing up for the Ags. We sometimes see Centaurs now, a lot of the Ags nerfs looking to go for something like the AC and such, but with a fight like this where EG, a game like this where EG have so many good tools around this element of a team fight, Ags, it's still going to be effective here, Gods. And crit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's out and down.
Just doing support things, try and split push a wave and get away with it, but not in the world. And yeah, there's a very obvious time to use the Stampede too.
Yeah.
Haunt is used, you use Axe, because that's when they're, one, doing a lot of damage with the Haunt illusions, Radiance, Diffusal, those Haunt Illusions hurt, and 2, it's when they're engaging. Like, they're going to use Haunt around a Dream Coil or a Monkey King back to strike. That's when those spells are being used, so it's very easy to get value out of this Aghanim Scepter this game.
To the pit Wings go. Universe will scout it out. Can EG do anything about this, though?
Well, they're killing it fast.
Can they go for any sort of suicidal play? They are going to throw in the Wukong's command. They're looking for the steal, jumping in immediately with the Haunt and the Dream Coil. Can they get the steal? No. Roshan down to the Dire. Blink will pick it up. Wings now trying to get themselves out on the retreat. They'll lose Ice Ice. They've lost Faith Pian as well. 3 of them surviving. Arteezy looking to chase down with the Diffusal Blade charge onto Innocence. He's almost certainly going to be going down. The Shrine Heal will not save him as the second charge is dropped. EG pick up a third. But Wings will manage to get that Aegis and the Roshan kill, but it's very, very costly. EG with a big team fight win and now ready with the pressure to push down the mid lane.
Yeah, they just killed it a little bit too slow at the end, so even though Invoker gets away with an Aegis, having an Aegis, not necessarily the biggest deal right now with 3 teammates dead. It's up to Blink to try and delay this one out.
We'll take all the mana out from Artur. And looks like, with the short respawn timings as well at this sort of stage of the game, Wings being back up will be enough to force EG to back away from this push for now.
So they at least get away with Aegis still in hand, but EG themselves, nice little fight for them. Perhaps Wings will try and play fast here. They know that that Haunt's going to be on cooldown for another minute, so this is a small little window where they can try and force a push down the lane or even try and take some objectives. Bottom lane, unfortunately for them, is already on their side of the map, so if they wanted to go for a high ground play, it's not really an option for them.
It's been an interesting game of Swords so far, really. EG with, it seems like the kind of more options and different avenues of closing this game as Wings very much set on just countering this team fight from EG and getting that push going with the Brewmaster Invoker combination, which, yeah, I'm still excited to see if they get to that high ground. I mean, you absolutely chunk down those structures, don't you? With the alacrity on the Broodling.
Yep, absolutely. And they've got limited physical damage to kill that Earth's Panda with. Spectre, I guess,
needs to focus if that happens. I mean, as long as Artur's alive. Arteezy closing in on that Manta style. A few hundred for that ultimate orb. And eyes on Ice Ice. They will be bringing him back up. Universe ready to lead the way as they head into the trees. The dagger indeed will be there, so they should have the Blink Coil indeed to cancel the TP. As EG will take down Ice Ice.
Jeez, that cast range with Sumail having the Aether Lens is pretty ridiculous. Didn't even get the cast range talent, just the Aether Lens and the plus 50 damage. I think recognizing that he can scale pretty nicely this game.
Same time though, whilst this is going on up top, Wings are down on the bottom lane.
Oh, this is in.
They have the combo.
Are they going for it?
They're going in for it straight away with the ultimate onto the towers. The fortification will come out. They do have all their big ults as well on EG. As we can see though, the Broodling with the alacrity, look at it, just melt the tier 3, turn towards the racks. And in fact, look at these racks go down. They need to kill this Broodling. It's brought it down to half health, but they are losing heroes. Dumping in on the back lines, but Zai's been the one to be caught out. He falls, it's a double kill for Blink. Wings, they're getting away with this sort of a play. Taking 2 kills. The Rack's taking a fair bit of damage. I mean, as we're seeing, you've got to be so careful if you're EG.
That Brew Split wearing off just in time, not to mention the Alacrity wearing off, but man, did that tier 3 tower melt. Now they can even take shrines. They've got a lot of map control that they can take away from EG, although they don't probably want to lurk around too much longer with the Monkey King CM respawns coming up, but you've got to be so good at keeping lanes pushed out. Like, you can't let those lanes reach your base when Brew and Invoker aren't on the map.
You've really got, and you know, Arteezy, of course, with the Manta and that Radiance can certainly offer a lot in pushing these lanes back out.
But he can't really do it alone. That's where he's in danger of getting picked off. If someone like a Doom, his job is going to be catch Doom Arteezy if he's ever trying to solo push lane. So it's a tricky game for Arteezy to play. He has to be very much aware of what's going on and who's missing from the map at all times.
Sumail has a lot of catch on him for kill potential with that Blink Yules combination. Blink running in the tree line. May himself trying to look for some sort of a setup, and indeed just attempt for it. Sumail already out there with the Blink Dagger. And Wings,
oh, they're coming down
coming again. They're ready for round 2. Yep. Here's the combo again.
This may just be Rax. There's no Glyph.
I mean, do they get away? I mean, they can just go straight. You're right, Gods.
You need to engage
no
with the
wall for 20 seconds. I guess that's going to come back just after the primal split.
How fast can they silence him? How fast
do they
can
just
they
throw their bodies in?
I think that's the plan.
If you can take Rax at this stage, you are keeping the momentum pretty well controlled.
You've got to keep an eye on the silences and the stuns on the Faith Beyond. If he gets the ulti off, Rax goes down. If he gets stunned first, or if he gets silenced, perhaps not. He's going to do it from safety.
They've got backdoor protection though. The creep wave is just about to come in, and there we have it. The timing. How do you stop this? Look at this go. The Rax are falling.
You do nothing, Owen.
Oh my goodness.
You're helpless.
Is this? Oh, and the team's out. Can they get the Panda out? I don't think they even care. They got the Rax. As long as they can keep everyone else alive, I think Wings are totally A-okay with this. So with the Stampede and the Blink out, Wings take a set of Rax, and EG must feel absolutely helpless.
Sneaky, sneaky. Now he's got BKB too, so he can... The really smart thing he does there is he just ultis from Fog. He does the ulti outside the base. He doesn't get greedy. He doesn't try blink to the high ground to get in melee range to ulti. No, he's like, I'm smoked up. I'm on the low ground. I'm going to pop my ulti and run in just to make sure I don't get stunned or silenced. The only way that push doesn't work is if he doesn't get ulti off. They've got good tools to stop him with the Puck Silence, with the Boundless Strike from the Monkey King, good long-range stun as well as a long-range initiation from Silence, but... Once his ulti's off, you're in trouble.
They're smoked up, they're ready to go, but they have been scanned.
Yep.
Wings know that EG, they know that this strat, it does annoy people. It gets them angered, and they're ready for that anger, Wings. They love it.
Yeah, this is not the end of the world for EG losing one lane of Rax. Their lamp scales very well, can also push out lanes pretty decently, but Invoker is just such a good stalling hero. So hard to push into him. He's just going to constantly throw tornadoes, EMPs. And Centaur is so incredibly tanky, can just blink in and fight whatever he wants.
There's the lead. Nice size. Looking for the lockdown. Gets the Doom onto Samael. Stampeders as they look to close in. Zai tries to hold them back with Wukong Samar, but Samael falls. They've lost Alina. Telekinesis here onto Zai as they hold him in position with the cold snap. Zai falling low. Ice jumps across. Crit trying his best here with the freezing field. He's doing a lot. They've got nowhere to cancel until Shadow. The silence wears out. Has the Hoostomp. Definitely blast as well. Wings pick up a third. They're holding EG back.
Oh, they caught him!
And they've even caught Uni. They don't have to follow up.
Okay.
But they are sending EG packing back to their half of the map.
Yeah, they've got Brew ulti, Owen.
They're ready to go again. Wings.
Push down another lane with the Brew ult, perhaps. They've got a bit of a ways to go. There will be respawns on all heroes by the time they reach the high ground, but you're still pushing into no Haunt, no Dream Call currently. Perhaps the Dream Call will come back up, but the Haunt's got a pretty hefty cooldown, and got to imagine Wings will want to press the advantage here. Invoker can boot to travel in, so they should be ready to go.
Oh my goodness. Wings. Yeah, absolutely. Tier 2 is going to fall. The creeps come back in. EG will have their full lineup, but as you say, ults aren't all there for EG. Wings, they're ready to go in. Faith Beyond straight away, the Primal Split and the Alacrity. Here we go, the Tornado holding back EG. The fortification is there. But still, there's going to be so much damage done here by this push. The tier 3's falling, it's gone. The Bruling turns towards the Rax. Arteezy, they're trying to take it down with the physical damage, but the Rax, chunk, they're gone. Again, a second set of many Rax, and Fabian takes down Arteezy. Oh my goodness. If this doesn't tilt you, I don't know what would, gods. EG have got to keep their composure against this. They will find Ice Ice. They found two. Samael gets the double. They get Innocence as well in the tree line. Triple kill for Samael.
I'm not sure how much these kills matter, though. You've lost another melee Rax. Slowly but surely, Wings will just take building after building and get mega creeps. Like, you can fight against one lane of Rax down. 2, things get a little harder. 3 lanes down, it's practically game over at that point. So you've got to make a stand. You've got to actually push back at some point, and that's something that EG have to be thinking about. The second Arteezy respawns, even before he respawns, go for a smoke gank, set up a haunt. You can't let Wings control the tempo any longer.
You've got to do something big. So big. They've got the Aghanims on Universe.
They'll be nice against the BKBs, but not sure it's a end-all solution for this game.
I mean, this must be a test for EG. I mean, the atmosphere for the team, losing 2 sets of Rax to this, it's got to be infuriating.
And they had such a good early game. Everything was going right. They got the Midas. Spectre was free farming. And then they're probably just like, man, we're being cheesed right now.
They've
like,
got to kill this Brew. But
well,
Fabian just straight with the BKB. Crit, we'll see if he goes for the cutoff. Fabian has got a blink. We'll see if he's greedy and sticks around, allowing himself to get hurt. And indeed he does it with a free field. They'll blow him up. They'll kill him. Fabian's out. is just down for 40, does have buyback. EG will move on for more though, looking towards Eyesight on the Doom. Got the BKB and time, turns around with the Doom onto Spectre. They try and get in with the Blink whose top is not going to connect onto Arteezy. They're desperately trying to get Spectre out of there safely, EG. Zai with the Wukong's command, the Boundless Strike onto 3, Innocence is out, Light Strike to follow onto Shadow with the Laguna. Have they got the damage to bring down this Brute? The Jingu Mastery, is it strong enough? It is, with Sumail's right clicks flying through. They take down a third, they'll turn towards the Bruling, they're bringing them down, but the big bad one prevails. The Earth Bruling, can they kill it? They can, they've dealt with it. He's out for 50, Shadow's down for 70, huge death on Wings. How much can EG do with this?
That's what EG needed. They needed to take a fight, go in the aggressive. That Sunstrike, ooh, went for the pick, couldn't find it.
Look at the gold, that was exactly what EG needed in a game like this.
Not going to get Rax, but taking an Aegis, denying an Aegis as well from Wings. Could be big here, although not the easiest Rosh of their life. Need to make sure they don't get down to Sunstrike HP. Arteezy.
We got Sunstrike, it's back there.
Hope that he doesn't hit you with it, I guess. Group up
Is he going to throw one in?
Is Roche going to clap again? If
it
Roche
looks like he's not.
Okay, we're good. That clap, oh, no Sunstrike.
That's so low. They have no vision outside of this pit at the moment for Wings, so EG should be safe.
Well, EG, hold on. That was the incredible team fight they've needed for some time, and we'll keep them alive. They don't get a lane of Rags. At this point, they just need to be thinking, how do we take fights as far away from our base as possible? They don't want to give Wings a chance to enter their half of the map. They need to be the ones going outside, meeting Wings on the battlefield, taking them on before that Brewmaster split can just hit buildings. They've stopped using the Brewmaster split for team fights. Other than that one there, that was like a desperation. Like I say desperation. I think Wings felt like they had an opportunity. They doomed up Arteezy. If they killed him, it would have been a one fight, and Arteezy, I believe, still didn't have buyback from the previous fight, so would have been a big kill at that, but he managed to get away thanks to the help from his team. The Glimmers, the Force, all these small little support items adding up.
This is a great time for EG to fight, though. They have the Aegis, they've got Horn, as well as this Arcane Rune. Would be lovely to use it whilst you can get that reduced cooldown out. And there's 2 buybacks on cooldown for Wings.
Yeah, you want to meet them outside, but you also don't, like, as much as EG don't want to let Wings pushing it to the high ground, they also don't really want to push high ground. Spectre is very bad at hitting buildings, and Invoker very good at defending high ground. So it's this situation where Wings can force a stalemate. They can just hug their high ground. They know EG don't want to try and force a high ground push. Similarly, EG don't want to let Wings get to their base. So if Wings want, they can just wait 5 minutes, wait for that Aegis to expire, and pick a fight that's going to suit them better right now.
And EG, indeed, just backing up, making as much as they can happen from the map.
Yep.
As they know that Wings will be waiting on that high ground. Not wanting to take any risks. Wings know exactly what they have to do to win this game.
Level 25 Spectre gets his minus 10-second Spectral Dagger cooldown. Not the biggest deal in the world. Definitely nice, but you'll quickly run out of mana if you're spamming that every, like, what, 6 seconds is it? So
I think it's very nice against these heroes with the blink daggers, just being able to keep marks on where they are.
Yeah, even if you're not actively cancelling it, but it tracks their vision, and you can, it's 7-second duration, 6-second cooldown, so it's constant spam, but Lina getting more damage output, going for the Fiery Souls. No surprise there. It seems to be what even support Linas get when you're transitioning into that core Lina. So see what Sumail can do as far as damage output goes. He's getting a secondary Lincoln, so prioritizing his own survivability against the Doom. That's the big thing here. Something like blocking a Doom could be what decides another.
And they're ready to lead in. They have the vision jumping in onto Crit with the Glimmer Cape. Have they got the detection? They do. They picked up the gem, looking for Crit, walks into the Sunstrike. That's the CM out and down. Wings looking for more. They turn towards Arteezy, who haunted into the middle of this fight, getting stunned up. Universe trying to come in with the save. Drops the Dream Coil down onto 2, but Arteezy's out. Has the Aegis ready for round 2. Eyes falling low on the Doom, but it has the Shrine. Still, they've got Blink ready with a lot of spells. Ready to throw in from the sidelines. Artor looking towards Innocence. There we have the hold back with the Meteor Beyond. Pots the BKB, tries to TP out, but the bash is there from Zai. Faith Beyond in trouble. He's going to go down, and also most certainly buyback is still not there. Still on cooldown, so he's out for 45 seconds. EG do take the fight here with the use of this Aegis.
Still so tough to go high ground. Yeah, they'll get the tier 2, but no Aegis. They can't really easily force high ground against Invoker. They may try to, just because they feel like they're still under pressure to get something done. And there's no Doom. Doom ran straight at the Lina, just tried to take her out of the fight.
Arteezy getting jumped on and comboed immediately, bringing himself down to half health. The Tornado from Blink into the EMP. Artor in a whole lot of trouble. They have the Stampede closing in. Sumail looking towards Eyesight, won't be able to kill him. Eyesight survives, and they've lost Arteezy. Wings hold the defense. Sumail looking to get up with the TP, but Shadow with the foresight to jump into the sidelines, has it bang on point. Wings are holding. And EG, again, their attempts have been stunted.
They're not just holding, they're getting the big kills at that. Like finding both cores and Lina and Spectre at such a key time of the game. They're going to immediately look to push out their lanes, probably set things up so that they can try and take some more of these outer objectives. At least either force a Spectre buyback or take the tier 2 tower, threaten the tier 3. EG don't want to let that happen. They're already pressing forward. Ice Ice is very low here.
See what they can get. They're looking towards Blink, set up with the silence, but BKB immediately. They pop the Ags. They do still get stunned here by the Dream Coil. Crit just out of range here, though, with a freezing field side. Getting chunked by Faith Beyond the Deafening Blast, connecting onto Uni. If they got the lockdown, Scorched Turf is out. Does still have an orb and a Blink. Into the tree line. Can they find in the Tornado? Ooh, it's a good attempt in case Universe jumps across. Who doesn't? But Ice Ice is hot on the tail. Faith Beyond a Blink jump in. Can Universe play his way out of this one with a phase shift? Can he get out? He can't. Wings surround him, take down the puck. Crit just holding on for dear life in that tree line, praying the Wings don't come a-hunting. As Wings hitting EG so hard. I mean, this is quite incredible to watch.
I like the move. It was so unexpected from EG. They just ran at Wings outside their base with no Spectre, no Lina. Their 2 core heroes missing, but that's the kind of plays you have to make. You have to catch them outside your base. If you let Wings get to your front door, they'll go smashing it down. So a bold move. It doesn't pay off for EG because of the instant BKBs, but it's the kind of move they have to make in this game. And now the buybacks will cometh. Brewmaster split, ready to go.
Oh, here's the combo. EG, you've got to get rid of that Brewling. RTC's trying to focus it. Universe will hold 4 of them back very nicely with the Dream Coil. Can they bring it down?
So tanky.
Look, it's going to get the tower at least. Pummeling into it. The tier 3 almost certainly going to fall. As again, they get an objective, and with Shadow jumping in, who stop onto 2, Faith Beyond following through with the clap Blink, focusing on the sidelines. Crit as CM's out. Ice Ice jumps in with the Doom onto RTZ. They've got to hold them back. They have to keep Arthur alive, and they're doing it. They've taken 3. RTZ ready to move on for more. Shadow comes back in with the Hoostomp double edges. Not enough damage, but with Blink's right click, it might be, and it is. The Shiva's Guard. They chase Arthur down. He's out. Blink tries to get away with the Ghost Warp, but Samael, he's cleaning up, holding on hard for EG. The Laguna Blade to do it for the Invoker. Turns towards the Centaur.
He can't fight the return. Sumail's losing the right click battle.
The passive is too strong, but with the help of 3, they'll finally bring down Shadow. Get that triple kill for Samael as they wipe Wings. But now that final melee Rax is exposed.
It's still a hold. It looked like that was going to be a really tough spot for them. Spectre still respawning. Puck had to buy back, but they completely wipe Wings and keep this best of one hope alive.
They just can't kill that Brulin. We saw Arthur at the start focusing it, but then EG realized they can't. They need to deal with the fact that Wings, they're jumping in the base. They're straight up to the high ground.
I like the approach where they go on the backlines. They realize that this support network, the Rubik, the Doom, are the bigger issues. Doom still luckily got off his ultimate onto the Spectre, but they had the answers. The Lina just dishing out massive amounts of damage. He almost single-handedly kills the Invoker there, and unfortunately for EG, EG can win fights. That's not the problem. It's taking objectives, and the biggest downside of their lineup we're seeing is the inability to hit buildings. Neither Lina nor Spectre, their 2 main cores, hit buildings at all.
They have got that Desolate on Zai to help out, but absolutely still certainly an area that they're lacking. Our Wings have Tower and Rax push for days with this Brewmaster Invoker combination that we knew from the draft. It could be strong. We've seen it before. I wonder now if in a second time in a row, more teams will follow suit if Wings do manage to go ahead and win this game. With just evidence of how well these cleverly timed pushes and execution can really cause havoc for a team that had to lead from the start. We saw insane timings on the Spectres, Midas, Radiance. Arteezy was getting the farm that he needed. Samael was having a fantastic time in the mid lane. But now at this stage, EG well and truly shaken up.
Another Roche, see if that's something EG can get their hands on. Importantly, they didn't have to use key buybacks in that defense. Here's like Spectre, Lina, didn't have to buy back for them to hold. If they had to go through those big core buybacks, other than like the puck was the one they used, if they had to use more than the puck, it would be a really tough spot for them to play into. Wings are going to go for a smoke, but as said, there's buybacks available. EG have lives to throw at this one. Just wonder what the call's going to be. Do you try something like NPS and try and fight through the backdoor protection, or are you just looking for a pick? Because it looks like they're more intent on finding the pickoffs here.
There we go. Wings on the high ground. EG not to come across. What is that neutral creep doing? Oh, there we go. He gets eaten. has taken out for his own better good.
There we go. The G-Ward will scout out and get all the info they need to take this fight on. And I imagine they will definitely not let lane just push up. Yeah, they're going to run directly at Wings. This is, in my mind, the play you're going to make. You can't just let Wings do what they're doing.
Link on the front lines as well would be a perfect hero to jump if they could take him down.
Oh, he's invis.
He's so speedy as well.
He pops the smoke and gets away.
We'll throw the first tornado out. And Shadow tries for the jump, does get the connection here immediately onto Arteezy. They break the Linkers in with the Doom. Artor in trouble. They'll drop down the Wukong's command side, looking towards Shadow. The Bash is holding him in place. In fact, doing a hell of a lot of damage with this ult. They control the Invoker. They'll take down Blink. Laguna dropped onto Shadow. Can they kill him in time? Eyesight still trying to come back in and finish off Arteezy, but the Manta, he can't quite get out. They've brought down Arteezy. Wings they've lost 4. They'll buy back on 2.
Oh, Arteezy doesn't have buyback because he bought out for the BKB. It was a nice pickup that helped him survive a long time in that fight, but ultimately, those buybacks, I don't think Wings will look to push off of them. They'd have to use all of their buybacks, and they don't know Arteezy's buyback
I don't think Arteezy actually managed to get the BKB off in that fight because of the Doom.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, so he's still the 10-second one.
A purchase that's painful.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it's going to... Oh, it may actually mean that Roche goes down. That's actually a big deal. You just use buyback on your Invoker. You'd love to get him an Aegis. And EG doesn't look like can do anything about this one. They do not want to risk a fight. With Spectre having buyback and Doom, like a potential Doom buyback, there's a Shrine right there, so he can TP in immediately. It's just too risky for them, perhaps.
Yeah, Wings absolutely are going to want to make something happen with this. Primal Split, not quite a back off cooldown again, 20 seconds or so, so you can put it on a bit of a back burner until then. 30 seconds without Arteezy. We'll have Horn immediately available when he's back up, but it has to be careful then. I mean, it was just a perfect initiation from Wings, jumping in, breaking that Linken's, allowing Ice to get the Doom in. And as we saw, even with EG killing off huge amounts of Wings, taking down 4, the combination and control of keeping Wings inside of that Wukong's command, it does a hell of a lot. You know, having this Basher and Desolator, it really does hurt them. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're losing your Spectre.
Yeah, Monkey King has managed to scale very well into this late game, and Invoker not having like any, not that you'd expect armor items, but like this is a game where you're like, you always want to have a Shivers card, but you run into item slot problems. It's like you have to prioritize, well, I need the BKB, you also want the Shivers for the armor, you want the Refresher for the late game, but the end result is that Invoker is very susceptible to that Monkey King damage output. Talked about there being very little physical in EG, that's changing now because Monkey King has the damage items.
Yeah, that level 25 plus 100% boneless strike adds a lot of nuke damage physically. Dropping that boundless down. Yep. Now will certainly mark a fair few of Wings out, especially if he has that Jingu built up.
Lina with the Daedalus, going to start right-clicking nice and hard in these late-game fights, and 21 Bloodstone charges means Sumail has a fast respawn time. Without the respawn talent, though, it's not instant, and often in these big late-game fights, having a 20-30 second respawn time doesn't cut it. You need the insta buyback. So as good as those Bloodstone charges sound, there may be a scenario where he would have to buy back even with all those charges.
As we can see, Zai certainly been hot on the warding this game. And we saw straight from the laning, keeping good vision deep over Wings half the map, but vice versa. Wings have been very smart with their movements and countering what EG have been trying to do. EG now ready to push up. And yeah, 4.5 Sumail just getting richer and richer by the minute. I've got their eyes onto White. Let's see how heavy they want to go in on this. Still danger of Wings certainly closing in from behind them with the Shrine still up.
Rubik with the Stolen Dagger, doesn't get that short cooldown, does not get to steal the talents with it. Not the biggest spell to have in a fight. Has had some nice steals, had the Freezing Field earlier. Seen the Puck Silence get stolen and used against the Puck himself.
And we're talking about Puck. Universe, of course, is certainly kitted up for some big plays.
Has he got the 420?
He has. Axe Refresher, yeah. Which sound did he go for?
Yeah,
he did. He is going to have money for days.
Okay.
We're going to see that maxed out Dagon potentially coming very, very shortly. Look at that roll in. Oh,
beautiful.
My goodness. It's a lot of money. Actually switching up, so queuing up the Mjolnir.
Wants to be able to push lanes better, I guess.
Get a shield on Arteezy at the front lines or something.
Shield Arteezy, and then also when you're, like, he's one of the main heroes that needs to push out lanes right now, it seems, so that will help clear waves since the bottom lanes have been mega creeped.
I mean, look at all the level 25s we're getting as well this game.
Stuff.
Everyone is starting to max out. We've got that return aura on Shadow. Oh, it's a lot of talent this game.
What's our Brew looking at for 25? Oh, the extra armor.
Oh, that is imbalanced. 20 plus armor on this already unkillable little green bugger.
Yeah, that's nice.
My goodness.
Doom gets the Ancients or Infernal Blade damage.
I think when he hits 25, you call it.
Yeah. I want to say you might go Infernal Blade damage. There's no... I don't know. The new Ancients,
2%?
maybe? It's not a big deal, but it's like, are you
I guess
actually
it's
gonna,
better.
It's
Yeah,
only if you're going to devour an Ancient. The Granite Golem HP is nice. That for sure.
Does that affect the Bruling? The aura?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, there we go. It buffs it up.
Oh, the extra HP. Yeah, I think it should.
Yeah, I mean, auras affect. Yeah, it should. Yeah, it should, shouldn't it?
It's everything. It's creeps and all. Yeah. So.
That's if he goes for that.
And I'm not sure how the new little root creep would work. If you get like the minus armor from the spell cast, whatever it's called, from that new ancient, that could be something you consider. But I want to say Infernal Blade damage against these tanky heroes. Percent-based damage late game is going to be really nice against like a tanky Spectre.
Still, I mean, if EG, they are kind of holding back, but if they can find fights when buybacks are on cooldown for Wings, can certainly still do it.
I mean, it's Wings with Aegis and Cheese and not willing to take a fight right now. By the time Aegis expires, they'll have that Invoker buyback, though, so that's probably the key thing to look at there, but it really is Wings playing very defensively and cautiously.
Yeah.
They can't really get out. They know if they go for a push down the lane, EG is going to meet them outside the base, and taking a team fight against this Refresher Puck, the Spectre with how much farm Arteezy's got, very, very difficult.
And talking about auras, of course, the Brute, they've been working on that Assault Cuirass and has them go full in.
Not sure.
EG doing their best to keep these lanes pushed out. You can see at the moment pretty much all lanes pushed up to at least the river, the bottom just slightly behind. So EG just making sure that there's very, very limited options in terms of playing around them as they do maintain overall control of the map. Wings being very reserved in their play style, holding back, waiting for EG to make the call.
It's kind of a stalemate. Neither team wants to... Well, Wings would love to push high ground, but they're not going to be allowed to push high ground. So EG don't want to push high ground, Wings don't want to fight in the middle of the map. And that, as a result, no one is able to move too far out of the base until we see some kind of one of the teams get kind of antsy, maybe like try and make a jump. The Centaur initiation, the Monkey King Boundless Strike initiation could come out. But very difficult to break through these high grounds right now.
Let's see what they can do. EG playing around with the idea.
Everyone's going to be getting 6 slotted at this rate.
56 minutes in, and it's not a short one. It's more of an epic. This match here between EG and Wings, as we would have hoped, in a best of one.
Monkey's going to scale very well. He's got a lot of room to grow in terms of his items.
Blink's starting to come out here, Zai. Immediately with the BKB TP out. No, we're talking about Ice Ice nearly getting in range there for the Doom.
Yeah, they even stampeded to get him there closer. Would have been a nice pick off. I think killing Monkey King is perhaps enough to go for a fight or a push with. He's such a key hero. He's the physical damage here. Everyone else is kind of like very magic based. I mean, Arteezy still, of course, he's 6 slot. He does some decent physical damage, but the Monkey King is like burst physical damage that the Invoker is just dying in the Wukong's command. If he gets stunned in a Wukong's, he's melting. So killing this Monkey King is important in this late game stage.
Talking about Zai, very, very close to having the completed Abyssal Blade.
Yep.
But may indeed be saving that buyback at this stage. As it could be crucial in these fights that EG are going to be forced to take eventually.
A lot of buybacks floating around. Heroes, even like the Brewmaster we saw. Oh yeah, he's actually used his money. He bought the AC.
Yeah, Zai will go in for the purchase.
Interesting.
And maybe indicating that EG are ready to get something done. And there we have it, 25, that plus 20 armor on the Promise, but as well, of course, next time we will see that AC aura as well. It's going to be very, very tanky Brewlings.
Yep. Definitely, I feel like EG can still continue. I feel like Wings have peaked. Not to say they're they're in a bad spot, because then should have to go fight. They don't want to fight outside their base, but any further item pickups for Wings are pretty inconsequential, whereas heroes like Spectre with Refresher, very good in the late game. He's also going to get an Abyssal first, it looks like, but Spectre, a lot of item growth potential. You've got a lot of item growth potential on Monkey King. He can get a lot scarier with some damage items, so it does feel like EG have stabilized this game and found themselves in not a comfortable position when you're down like 2 lanes of racks, but at least an okay position.
Oh, Wings have already found themselves a bit of blood as they jump out looking for Crit. Can EG do anything a return. Universe comes in with the first coil. Onto 2. BKB popped by Ice Ice. Jumping down. Abyssal to hold the Doom in place. Out come the Wukong Saman. Universe with a refresher. Second Dream Coil in place. Burst down Ice Ice. Shadowstone on the sidelines. Zai trying to beat down the Bruling. Turning towards him. He will be able to bring it out with Samael's superior attack range. They clean out the third one. They've taken out Faith Bian. No buyback as well for this Panda as he's down for a full minute. But EG do commit all the ults for this. They'll look for the push now.
His Primal Split got stuck in the trees. The one that was out of the trees, he was the one that's very tanky. He tried to survive with it, but just enough physical damage. And boy, was that Abyssal Blade clutch. You kind of question, like, do you want to say buyback? Do you want to buy an item? Well, you can see why it pays off there. He was about to get
changed the fight.
And if he didn't get off that Wukong command, Wings would have had a much better shot of winning it. It was definitely a good Doom target if you could stop the Wukongs, but...
Shadow with the lead in actually catches Universe out around the phase shift. Universe in a hell of a lot of trouble with the Tornado coming through into the Sunstrike. Can he play his way out again with the phase shift? Do they have any sort of control of catch? They don't. He'll be fine. Universe will manage to play his way around the combo. Samael looking to come back in very aggressively here, trusting his Lincolns. It will be fine. I mean, he's incredibly speedy here, as we can see with that bonus movement speed from the stacks.
Wings have held with that. Haven't used buybacks, but...
Oh, Roshan is up as well. This would be perfect for EG.
Maybe not the easiest thing to claim, but...
They've got a lot of damage on Samael.
Yep.
With that Daedalus, but I mean, you're right. It's risky to do with Wings getting everyone back up. That shrine, of course, still there around the pit.
With Monkey, perhaps they go for it. I mean, we've seen Wings and their patience. They do not want to leave their base. They're waiting for EG to come to them. And I think EG can read that and probably feel like Roche is likely to go uncontested. They ping it out. Sunstrikes can scout this one out, but again, moving out on the map aggressively has proven to be difficult for Wings to do. The vision advantage from the Monkey King being able to fly onto the trees, the wards just protecting this make this very hard to stop.
They know what's up though, but there's no way they can get her in time. They will start to TP across to the shrine, but EG should find this. A sneaky Tornado isn't going to get the kill. EG will still find Roshan. Aegis and Cheese picks up.
Monkey getting it. Everyone else is kind of 6-slotted. Lina and Spectre and Monkey. If you get a second life on this hero, you can do a lot of damage with it. So,
and of course, as I believe with the Monkey King, you keep the Wukong's command stays up if you die in the ultimate. So if you die in the ultimate, it's pretty bad for the enemy because there's no way then that they can push you out or kill you again. As I think, unless they fix that. But I mean, Monkey King and fixing those words don't go together. So we may see how effective that will be in these team fights.
Puck, 30k net worth. Thank you, level 25 talents. Does kind of...
Oh, and look at what a man, what a bro. Universe.
I guess it's for our team. You're right.
Time to get the moon shards out. Not for him. I mean, I imagine not for himself first. Has he already given one out?
I think Lina bought for herself because Lina's very farmed. But yeah, poor Arteezy. Where's my moon?
Where's my moon shard?
Did you give it to Monkey before Spectre though?
Maybe you give it to Zai. Yeah.
I think it's actually better on
Zai.
Zai.
I hit the jump. No, crit down to the low ground. Chomps to the cheese. He'll be fine. Ice Ice looking for the Doom. But Dream Call again, big Universe. Huge stuns on to do with the Abyssal onto Ice Ice. They found one. They turn towards Shadow. Second Abyssal holding him in place here. And this setup there, the counterplay from Universe, absolutely beautiful. Jeez. That Dream Coil, that insane duration on the stun through the Magic immunity, setting up not only 2 kills, but what looks to be 3 kills here for EG.
Now you're going to have to use these buybacks. Probably 2 of them. You've only got 2.
You've got to get yourself in already. We can see as well, Samael's like, top lane, guys. We got to get this lane pushed out.
Yeah, don't let that Brewmaster potential buyback completely blindside us.
And here we go. What can Wings do? They still have the key components for the defense up. Blink is alive, jumping from Shadow. Immediately going in on Tartese. Crit comes forward, but Blink pops the BKB. Ice Path is down. Again, doing their best to keep EG off. The fortification, slowing them down momentarily. Arteezy will still stick around, take the tier 3, turn towards the rack. Shadow actually going to miss the Blink Who Stomp here. And EG on the verge of potentially getting themselves a Rax. Tornado again onto Arteezy. They'll look for the follow through. Abyssal onto the Lotus Orb. Arteezy drops the hammer on his own head, but again, Universe with these Dream Coils, causing huge amounts of issues here for Wings. They've found one. They'll take down a second. A Centaur out with 2 minutes and no buyback. Blinks out as well. Does have buyback available. They're going to have Brewmaster back as well in a few seconds. EG, they got the melee racks. They got themselves some big kills.
That Bloodstone Suicide got Arteezy back to like 2/3 HP.
And they're going for the game here, EG. Arteezy is playing around with the idea of going for the tier 4s, and they're going fully in. EG wants to try and end it potentially. They've got to be careful.
Yeah, Arteezy still low.
Here's the jump in, Faith Bian looking towards Zai. Blink needs to come in hard with the combo, trying to set up with the boundless strike, holds him back. Arteezy comes in, the Linkers will protect the Invoker from the Abyssal Blade. Artur gets himself away on minimal health. Zai bursts down.
He's got Aegis still.
He's back for round 2. Arteezy solo has that heart, has to hang back before reinitiating.
It's so much easier to...
Oh!
Insta buyback. He's got travels too. He'll be right back in. They want to end the game now.
And I think they might be able. I mean, can they?
Doom's got
it's
two
close.
ultis.
Faith Bian jumps in with the ult. They've got to hold EG back. They're looking for the game. Samel posts the BKB. He's just hammering away at this Ancient. Ice is coming around for the side. Artur jumps in. Immediately stunned up here by the Brewling.
Ice, you got to doom
someone. He's got to throw it out before he gets down with the freezing field and such. Ice is out. Arteezy, he's fine. The boundless strike. Here from the hole of the Ribbling, trying his best, but the Wukong's command is out. Wings, they're trapped up again by the Dream Coil from Universe. Blink, BKB pop, but the stuns are there. Zai bashing him up here with the Wukong's Blink. Falling low, Universe forces them back to the base. EG, they turn their attentions back towards the Ancient. Can they still hold here? Wings Bian in again with the Blink clap. Arteezy takes a Sunstrike straight to the head. He's falling low. He's being forced back in by the stolen Wukong's command. Why is holding? But Samel, he maintains control as he faces towards the Ancient, and EG will finish the game. Wings tried the meme strats again, but it wasn't effective as EG have climbed their way through what must have been one of the most nerve-wracking best of ones here.
That is best of 1 Dota in a nutshell. Arteezy's subreddit will be proud of that game.
My goodness.
Absolutely incredible game.
That was, I mean, just the fact that we saw Wings, they had this idea. It came to fruition. They took 1 racks, 2 racks, put pressure on the 3rd one. And then at the end of the day, I mean, I've got to say, the puck pick. Universe played absolutely out of his mind. The setups, I mean, pretty much between him and Zai, you know, having that Wukong's command and Dream Coil, it made it so hard for Wings to play around the fights when they
Arteezy's subreddit will be
They stressed me out,
What did
dude.
you go through?
Look at this. I'm like, they stressed me out, dude. I'm like, what are they doing? Well, the thing is that they did adjust. That's a nice thing that Parker was saying. They adjusted. They started recognizing, like, okay, this, you know, the Brewling Sprint with the Invoker Alacrity is starting to get completely out of hand. They have to take the fights outside the base. Like he said, too, the GPM talent started kicking in as well. Zai, Universe, definitely the saving graces for this team. I mean, Universe, I'm going to just go out here and just say he had to be the MVP here. These double coils, locking down not only the Panda, the Earth Panda, but also getting like the Doom before he gets the Doom off, all in the BKBs. It was just like perfect placements for the Dream Coils inside of the Wukong's command.
Oh, and Sumail at the back lines. Perfect control, perfect positioning. The DPS of the team, because not a lot of other sources. It was a really weird game.
I think Arteezy made this game a lot harder for EG than they should have. There was so many times he got doomed and just died without using anything. Like Haunt to stop the blinks so he can actually scout for his teammates would have been huge in a lot of these fights. Even the last time when he got sunstruck too, he was just flirting with disaster.
At this point, Ben, did you start to worry for EG a little bit?
Oh, I worried for them about 32-minute mark to like 55-minute mark.
I mean, you came here, right? At this moment, this was the team fight,
Crunch,
I believe.
crunch, crunch,
where you
crunch,
came up.
crunch.
Yeah.
And because at this point, it was like, hey, Wings got this. This is the second lane of Rex that they're about to take. And it looks like Evil Geniuses doesn't really have an answer to the Brewmaster with the Alacrity or Spirit Panda.
Later on, they had so many counters to BKBs, though. The Massive Abyssals and then the Dream Coil with the Ags, whereas Wings, they couldn't do anything during the BKBs. It didn't, like, all they really had was Doom, but it wasn't that much.
Oh yeah, hey, fuck, did this game change your opinion on Doom?
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
He got a couple. No, he did get a couple good Dooms on like some pretty good targets. But the main theme of Wings' draft was definitely just the Invoker and the Brew.
Did you like the 4-position Doom? I mean, it was a 4-position. I feel like it did.
I think that's the best way to be able to run it. Yeah, I think he had a pretty decent showing. He was getting the Doom on Arteezy pretty much every time with like an Infernal Blade follow-up, so it was doing his job.
Overall, what do you think of Blinks going for Deafening Blast AoE rather than the Tornado?
I think it was actually fine.
It's good for Spectre, yeah. We were kind of like throwing it back, like at least you can like, you're really good for the team fights there. He doesn't feel like he needs to like hold for the high ground there. They're trying to be the ones like going in, taking that rack, so that's how they can like stop them from hitting the Earth Panda as well. Just 2 AoE Deafening Blasts.
It was this point, Fox, we were sort of sitting here going, why don't they just go for the game? Like, there's 3 of them there, they could take that down in like 3 to 5 seconds.
As soon as we said it,
suddenly, Sumail goes, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, we win the game if we do that.
He was just done. He was like, I got this,
there we go.
guys.
Yeah.
It's throwing time.
It was really fun having a long game like this, 65 minutes. Most people were level 25, Crystal Maiden included, Ruby the only one not, so you could see all the talent choices.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's been a while.
Monkey King's ridiculous.
Monkey King is great. The amount of lockdown that he gets with that with the Basher is just...
It was insane.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard and show you what these boys did in terms of all level 25s, of course, but yeah, plenty in there. Sumail, 24, 7 and 10.
Pretty beastly performance.
Yeah, and 37,000 net on the back of 660 and 701 GPM.
I don't think we're going to be able to get this exact stat here, but Nox, whoever, one of you guys, if you're watching, I want to know how long Zai bashed people for. I'm just curious, right? You can check it in console usually how much bash comes out. So I'm actually really curious to see how much it does do in those fights. Because okay, they were dream coiled a couple of those situations, but then they're trying to like walk through and they just get chain bashed. Okay.
MVP.
So Sumail actually gets it. That's, that's fine.
Just, just probably just ahead of Universe, which, by the way, is the story of this entire tournament. Universe must be sitting there going, I hate this guy. He steals MVPs from me every game we play.
He's humble.
Yeah.
Universe doesn't care.
He's a humble guy.
But he had a great game, didn't he? And Sumail, obviously, with that ridiculous level of kills in that game.
That's crazy.
Maybe more Linas will start going Light Strike Array.
He did do it again. Yeah. I told you.
And will we see more Invokers and Brewmaster combinations? That's the real question. I mean, it almost worked.
Is that not just a Wings thing, though?
I think other teams have tried it and it was just awful. Yeah. Like, they just lost lanes and never got to Siege ever.
Talking of Wings, that's it, they're done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gone early, which is a shame for
played
us.
Pretty decently that game. I like that.
Yeah.
I think they played better in that game than the group stages by a good margin.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for EG, though.
Yeah.
They stepped it up.
I guess they can look forward to Kiev now and just focus on that, and that's that. Done and dusted. We do have an interview on the stage right now, so let's get some interview goodness from Jack doing the translating.
发现 Smile 跟 Universe 眉头紧锁，他们当时是在交流一些什么吗？
When you guys were drafting, we saw that Universe and Smile had their brows knitted. So what were you guys thinking?
I think we were pretty happy with our draft. We were prepared to draft against them, and we pretty much got what we wanted. We were a bit surprised about what they drafted, but we later on realized like the strategy that they were like going for with the Brewmaster Invoker. So it was something that they wanted to do before the game started, and we realized in the game that it was going to be tough at some point, and it was a rough game.
他们一开始对自己的选人什么的其实都还挺满意的，然后后来他们就有感受到，就是 Wins 他们的这个选人，就是他们选的这个酒仙还有卡尔这两个的组合，他们就有点明白那个 Wins 现在大概是什么想法，他们到底想做什么，所以他们就对他们这个政策，然后他也做出来他们的政策，然后后面觉得他们选的人其实也还可以的。
好的，那么 Wins 跟EG 的比赛被观众称之为2届 TI 冠军之间的对决。那么这场比赛也是一个淘汰赛。首先恭喜 EG 是淘汰了 Wins。那么 EG 作为 Crit， 作为 EG 的一员，他此时此刻心里的感觉是怎么样的？
We both in the last match was like a competition between the two TI champions. And like for you, how do you feel right now that you just, Wins kind of just go home right now? And how do you feel?
I mean, obviously, I think this is not the team that I enjoy sending home the most because I have a lot of respect for them, and they're always fun to play against. For me, it's hard to talk about like being champion of TI, but I can feel it when we play the game that there's like this. My team, like 2 of them won TI, and I can feel when they play against the reigning champions that there's something special. So we definitely like give some extra spirit when we play against them.
Wins 其实他们并不是很希望看到 Wins 回家，因为他们很喜欢跟 Wins 打，也觉得跟 Wins 打非常有意思。他自己本人可能不能聊，就是作为 TI5的冠军对这个比赛，就刚刚那场比赛有什么想法？但是他能从他的队员的那个表情上，他能感觉到，就是他们作为 TI5的冠军打 Wins 的话，其实，就对于他们来说是一件非常重要的事情。所以，他觉得这个比赛 Wins 做的也非常好，然后他们也尽了很大的努力。
那么 EG 这支队伍是小组赛的表现不尽如人意，那么今天也是赢下了这场比赛，非常的不容易。那么 EG 的下一个目标在哪里呢？
We all know that during group stage, and you guys didn't do as you expected, right? So, like, what is your next goal for this tournament?
I think after the group stage, we kind of have to take a game for game, like every game, like take it individually and like try to do good for everyone, because we don't really have like the security of dropping to lower brackets, so we have to prepare for everyone and just take it step by step.
他们首先肯定是不想输的，然后现在呢，只能是走一步是一步，一步一脚印把这个走好，然后每一个队都认真对待，每一场比赛都好好打。
好的，那我们最后把掌声送给这支EG战队，希望他们在后面的比赛能有更加出色的表现。好，谢谢。
We go then. No Jack required, of course, because he has pretty good English. My mistake, my bad. It's getting late here on day 1 of the main event here at the 2017 Asia Dota Championships. We will have one more match tonight, though. We're just going to take a very quick social media question now, because those questions have been coming in all day. Thank you very much for all of the questions that you've been putting in the Reddit thread. The latest one is RTZ the face of Dota 2 for the Western world? This comes on the back of that ridiculous ESPN poll thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I rallied against it. I think it's a complete waste of time, popularity, and clickbait.
I mean, if you're putting it on one person, though, there's so many other ones.
Yeah, but the trouble is he's in it right now, and then people have been voting for him.
All right,
to try
are we meaning competitive Dota 2 or Dota 2 in general?
Well, it says face of Dota. I guess it means. I mean, it's going to be the competitive face of Dota 2, surely.
Does it have to be a player?
Doesn't have to be, does it? For me, like when I came in, it was Dendi.
Yes.
And it's not quite the same now, obviously, because some of his stars waned a little bit, but he's still massively popular.
If it's a popularity contest, then I would say yeah, right?
Yeah, agreed.
I guess so.
Yeah?
I feel like it also used to be Toby.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I would say that.
That's fair enough, yeah, if it's not a player,
definitely.
That's pretty true, yeah.
4 years ago when I started watching, which is not that long ago in real terms. Yeah, absolutely. Toby was up there.
Yeah.
Toby, Dendi, Fear, they were the main three people I think that really kind of jumped off the page, and everyone kind of. I think that those are the ones that people know outside of Dota. That's how I always measure it, right?
Yeah.
When you go and speak to someone who likes League of Legends, for instance, if you ask them, do they know any Dota players? Most of them will say Dendi. Necessarily say Arteezy, but they will say Toby.
It's like popularity-wise, it would be Arteezy, but it's hard to because like Sumail as well in the last year, he's so influential. But he's not. He doesn't have that massive popularity, massive following. He does have a big following, but
I think you'd be surprised because the press after TI when they won, a lot of it went on him as well. I saw lots of articles in mainstream press.
He's on in Time magazine, top 10 influential teams.
I don't know. I think maybe his star does push a bit further than the boundaries of Dota 2, but. Yeah, it's interesting.
Sumail's not as charismatic as Arteezy.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Arteezy's way
but
more
then
charismatic.
the same thing can be said for PPD. He did loads of those things as well. Obviously, he's now further in the background. But
I wouldn't say Fear's that charismatic on screen, or really. But it's about him, isn't it? It's about his story and what he went through to get where he got.
I mean, you've got free to play.
Yeah.
Then already there's a massive story
I
there.
think for the younger generation, definitely Arteezy. For the older, maybe not.
Yeah, probably a Dendi.
Probably Dendi.
Or a Fear. Yeah. Interesting
that,
question. That got us debating. Very good. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, though, we will be on to our last match of the day. It's a big one for Faceless. They didn't have the best of group stages. They'll have to wait and see whether they can pick it up against the rejuvenated Team Liquid. We'll see you in a bit. Let's check in with one man that we don't always hear an awful lot about. That's right, his name starts with M, and it's not Miracle.
I grew up in Bulgaria in a small house. Like, my parents weren't that rich, so we didn't have a PC back then. But then my grandmother came and she bought me the first PC. I was like 5 years old, and then I started playing a lot of games on my PC. That's how it started. I think it was like 2012. I was really happy. I could finally play Dota 2. And obviously when I can play Dota 2, I will play it all day, all night.
Back in the days, his family didn't approve his playing and do not spend so many times on the computer and not waste his time in general, because they think it's a waste of time.
I played with a lot of teams. Like, I made my own teams, I joined some teams. Playing with Bulgarians was... I felt like I couldn't improve myself as a player. There was a league called FPL, Faceless League. I got invited there and I won it like 3 times in a row. I think that showed some people. At least I got a bit famous from that, I guess. We started playing good teams like Empire, Navi. We started beating them online. And I started believing that I can beat anyone if I can beat those teams.
I've always believed that he can achieve his dreams, and I support him every day.
The first thing I felt when Kuro added me in Skype is I felt like he was a fake account, but that jokes with me and stuff. But then I realized what he writes is it could be only him, honestly, yeah. And then I got invited to Liquid.
Ivan is a really open-minded person, really smart, really good at playing computer games and chess or other things.
I think I can beat many people at chess.
With Ivan, sometimes we play table tennis. I mean, I'm better than him, but he kinda catches up.
Sometimes I play in some small tournaments in the city. I always lose, but it's a good practice for me.
Гордея се с теб, гордея се с теб. Гордея се за твоите постижения. Следя всяка една твоя игра, всеки един турнир и се радвам, щом ти си щастлив.
If I wasn't a pro gamer, I would try again to be a pro gamer. I wouldn't ever give up on that. So I think it's the right choice to do what you believe in. Yeah, I believe in playing Dota.
Great stories. Really good to catch up with people that we don't always get to hear from, especially someone who is very quiet, keeps himself to himself at the tournaments as well. I don't think I've seen him smile like that ever. Great to see him in there. And remind me as well, Shiva, when we do these events where they've got a table tennis, let's not play him anymore, okay?
No, I can't wait to see him play chess against Winter. Let's make
that happen.
That's
a great idea.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
2 grandmasters of Dota against each other in chess.
We can give him some time. Yes.
Winter versus Mike.
Winter is the coach of Faceless, so you know they're both here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta get Jake on that case.
Opposite sides of it as well. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. We're going to get into it in just a moment, these two teams. I think we start with Liquid, obviously, with mind control in it. There is also Miracle. We've talked about the enigma that he is and what just such a fantastic player, but it's become a very good team overall. I know they've had some ups and downs over the last 6 months, but the basis is all there, Fold, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, with the pickup of GH, he fits like right when they picked him up. We were watching Dream League. We actually got lucky because it was like right in the middle of it. Of course, you know, they moved Boba out and they brought in GH, and it was like this whole different synergy between the entire team. It's like these buddies. It seemed like the three of them, Kuroki, GH, Miracle. These guys all like just seem to have like this like perfect synergy, just coming in and working together with them. It just clicked almost instantly. We got to see them at their like peakest level recently too. It's been like really impressive. Unfortunately, I think here coming in, they are definitely a bit unhappy with the way they've been playing. Yeah. Matu's just been like, I don't know what's going on with me, and I'm like, dude, come on, you good? Don't worry, man. It's okay. And then he goes back, and you like Kuroki and Heen have really been like adamant about talking to them too. Like you see them at the tables we all sit in, they've been like really trying to amp them up. Just like doesn't seem like they're really feeling it, and now they're stuck in the best of one.
Yeah, now they've got to be careful and up against a very dangerous team in the form of Faceless. Didn't have the greatest of groups, it has to be said, but you don't want to play this team in a best of one because they're so unpredictable. It's such a great experienced set of players in their team, and they can switch things up, Shiva.
They can, and the scary part is sometimes when they switch it up, it's just not working. Like they've had not great group stage to say the least, but
dangerous in best of one.
Dangerous in best of one, and
they can be cheesy.
On top of that, I've heard they have been doing fairly good in scrims in the last few days, and are hopeful and are very positive for this best of one.
They seem like a cheerful bunch.
They
I can't really see them get down.
They're never down. I feel like that they're always.
Well, you've got Black and Darrow in that team, right? I find it very difficult to be miserable for too long with those two on your team.
Winter might just slam it down a little bit. Just throw some real on them really quick. I mean, we did get a chance to just like chat with him a bit, and he's just like, you know, I'm a bit disappointed because I feel like the games that we lose, we are at an advantage for the most part, and then we just kind of throw it away.
Yeah, I think we were talking, weren't we, on day 2. They played 4 matches, and out of the 4 matches they played, in 3 of them, they were ahead in the early game, ahead in the mid game, and it wasn't like they didn't have a late game composition. They actually threw the games away. 3 of their 4 games in the first 2 days, they just threw away. That could easily have converted Ben into a top 2 finish.
Yeah, but they seem to constantly struggle with that problem. It's not a one-off kind of thing. It just repeatedly happens to this team over
What
and
does
over.
it stem from, though? Because I feel like late game is... Everybody always says late game, it comes down to decision-making, not necessarily lineup and drafts. So how do you fix that?
I think for me, at least, when I'm watching them, I feel like they lack like an in-game leader. I don't know. It just seems like they're all kind of like... to me, like when I think about that team, who's the one that's
got 3 in-game leaders and they're all trying to do it?
It's like Ice, when he's on the proper hero, he can like dictate the pace of the game, and he can be like, hey guys, like I'm doing this, I'm making making space all over the place. But then when it gets like to be making those big decisions in the game, who's the one calling the shots? Right?
Team directionless.
Yeah, quite. And we know Black's quite a strong character as well, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, Black can be a strong character too in there, so he's obviously throwing his opinion. Nuts is experienced, so he might throw something in there. It could be a bit mixed up. We don't know, but
I don't know. I
could be.
We're just guessing.
I'm assuming. I'm like just from
but
what
there
we've
is
seen
definitely an issue there, isn't there? They're going to need to fix, regardless of whether they get through this best of one or not. The interesting thing, Ben, I wanted to talk to you about this. When you look at their qualifying form, it's terrific in Southeast Asia. They're just flawless all the way through. I think they went through Kiev qualifiers, completely flawless. Didn't lose a
SCA
single
has
game.
a different style of play though than the other ones, and like teams like Liquid just have way more variety and things that you just aren't really expecting. Also, I think that the other teams are the non-SCA teams are way stronger in the middle late game decision making, where Faceless struggles the most out of any team I think here.
What's the key matchup here? What are you looking forward to most?
Oh. Man, that's tough.
Okay, so...
Because there's quite a few in here, isn't there?
I feel like we should say Black, and then you can automatically match up with Matuma Man.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to match up Black with Matuma Man. I want to match up Black with GH.
Right.
Because GH has been playing Naga Siren for a bit, and I feel like that's the kind of matchup we might be looking to see here. But I know that's not possible, production. Don't worry. It's got to be...
Production backstage, they're going, what is Shiva doing to us right now?
No, you know, which role do you look at? And let's just look at Black. I want to say. I mean,
let's
match
Black with Matuma Man, because that's like for like, if you like. And we can take a look at them statistically speaking, and it is very one-sided, but perhaps not as one-sided as you might think. You might think it would be Matumba Man that led the way.
Black
but
does
in
play Pudge sometimes.
Yes.
So they both could be supports.
Yeah.
It's not that unlikely.
I mean, Miracle could be a support for all we know as
Yeah,
well.
I mean,
That's a great
Miracle's
one.
been playing 4. He did it twice during the
Yeah.
group stage. I think Sand King was 1 and...
The Rubik was another
Did he play?
Rubik.
Did he play a roaming Monkey King one of the games?
Yes, he did.
He played a roaming Monkey King,
Yes,
right?
he
Because he
did.
played a mid Monkey King and he played a roaming Monkey King.
Yep.
And so, you know, you could match up, for example, Jabs and Miracle, but then the stats would also be skewed because Miracle has been playing support.
They
And
switch a lot.
yeah, and I think that's a bad thing, though. Normally, it's a bad thing.
Is that
right?
one of the questions we're going to bring up? Is it a bad thing? Because normally in our heads we got used to the whole Miracle 4 Protect 1 thing with OG. It worked really, really well. Some of the heroes he plays are astonishingly good. And then when you've got a world-class caliber player like that, and you think, why do you let him go and play a 4?
The thing is, for that team, though, it's like GH came to this team, and it's not like GH was a support player coming in. Sure, he plays support heroes, but in pubs, this guy's a dirty Naga picker. And if you look at his profile, he's got like 400, 500 games of Naga. He plays a lot of it. So that one, I think, is very specific to that. Miracle's played in the past, sure, but I think it's just GH is probably just feels a bit more comfortable on it.
Sure. I mean, the Naga kind of made sense in that he's a specialist Naga play. And he played terrifically in that game as well. So, but I don't know. It just feels weird to me that he moves such a big star.
Whenever I see role switches, it's generally not a good thing.
Yeah.
And Liquid was bottom of their group, not even tied with bottom, just straight bottom of their group. And what other role switches have we seen?
Until the end of the first, into the third day, of course.
Until
they entered the last day, but they finished
I was like,
third.
oh god, they
in
had
the
like
end.
3 points or something.
But the games that they won were all, or most of them, I believe, were all with G8s playing Naga Siren.
Yeah.
So it
But
feels
also,
like
we have to remember that they were one of the victims of the 3-1 point system, in that they
Yeah.
drew a lot of games,
Yeah.
which actually artificially put them down lower than perhaps they should have been
they
in that
got
group.
3 1-1s.
Yeah, they did, yeah. And it was only on the final day they managed to secure that 2-0, which pushed them up into the playoff position.
And
they
then
beat,
tiebreaker,
and then they beat
yes.
NP in the playoff game. Suddenly they finished third on the final day.
But it's a best of 1, so they're most likely going to go back to the most winning strategy.
Naga Siren, which is then going to be banned.
Now,
I don't think they're going to ban it. I don't think
Do you
they're
not?
first phase ban it.
I mean they're gonna first phase Invoker, surely. I think
Miracle Invoker, yeah.
every team has so far first phased
Invoker Wisp.
banned Invoker every single game. I don't think the Wisp has been banned
It was a
every single
mag
time.
Was it not every game? Okay,
not
maybe
every
not every game,
but
but
I think the Invoker has been first.
I think you have to ban mag.
Every game after the Miracle 23-0-12 Invoker game.
The one
yes.
game they let it
The
through.
one
He
game
goes,
we're like,
let
we'll let him
through.
through and see how good he is, and then we're like, okay, never do that again, ever again. And every team
Mistakes
since then
made.
is like, nope, never do that again. So yeah, I can't see how they would ever let that through.
I think
Seems to be
Invoker-
the one final
Unless they
thing
want to
that
pick it up
they
themselves.
Invoker
Depends on who has
Wisp?
first pick.
can- Yeah.
Invoker Mag or Invoker Wisp?
Yeah,
is
Invoker Wisp
probably-
is the most popular bans for against them.
Well, who gets first pick?
It's a coin toss.
I
I'm
believe it
looking
is a
at-
coin
yeah.
First pick's super important for best of 1.
Isn't it
Yeah.
the choice? Don't you get the choice?
Yes.
Side or pick?
Yep.
After you
Yeah.
won the coin
Yeah.
toss, yeah. And side doesn't really matter, does it?
It's been mattering
moment?
less and less, it seems, doesn't it?
A little bit.
It matters a little
Not
bit.
as
But
much.
I think you would pick draft over
Yes,
side.
and if you're planning on
definitely.
playing
Right now you
Anti-Mage and Naga Siren, I mean, then it doesn't matter that much. Because you're going to go late game anyway.
I mean, that's what we're going to get. We're going to get Naga versus Alk, or Naga versus AM. It's just going to happen, guys. I hope you're prepared.
Naga versus Alk and AM.
That's a possibility.
I also
That's
want
awful. Then you have space for eggs.
And give it moon shards.
Okay, we're done.
I also want to talk about the fact that if you're gonna have this steady bans against Liquid, and they know that most teams will ban at least Invoker, maybe Invoker Wisp, which is unusual in the current meta, it actually opens more heroes
Coddle
up for them.
Naga.
Coddle Naga,
Yeah,
Monkey
exactly.
King.
It does open more heroes. They're going to get at least a couple of them.
Does Faceless play the Monkey King?
No,
We
I
haven't
don't think Nuts or
seen. I think we saw one game actually, and
Nuts
it
or
wasn't
XY?
good. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause-
I vaguely remember seeing one game with Nuts, and it wasn't good.
Because that could also be a very contested hero. Maybe they might just get rid of that one, not wanting to have to deal with it.
Maybe.
it could be.
Yikes.
This is pretty scary, I think, for a little bit for Faceless. Just look, I mean, we're theory crafting a lot.
Yes.
That's like random
Yeah.
stuff, but looking at the heroes that Liquid has had the success on.
Yeah, it's a choice of which lesser evil hero do I want to let Miracle have, isn't it? And if you decide that you don't want him to have the Invoker, then you ban it first phase.
But the scary
But
part
then what do you
is,
give him?
it's like, you know, you care about what Miracle gets, obviously. But then if you focus on Miracle in the draft, then you got GH.
Yep.
That's scary.
Yep.
A mind control always slips under the radar, I think.
Yeah.
And so he normally gets what he wants, which is why he's such a stable mid.
Yep.
And then you got Matuma Man, who is a very strong carry as well. And you know, which one are you going to focus on?
Yeah.
Good luck.
The only downside, I guess, to some of the drafts that we've seen from them, Ben, is that Kuro sometimes likes to pick his own very early.
That's fine.
Do you think it's okay? Because in many drafts, it seems like
the drafts never center around him though, and he's a 5.
Yeah.
No, yes, a couple of times when he played Lich, he picked it last, thinking like
that he wouldn't be counted.
Yeah, which hero
yeah.
can I make the biggest impact on? And then he picks that last.
Yeah, he's played a lot of like Lich and CM, I feel.
Yes.
He just like
CM seems to be okay.
I just picture freezing field at Roshan like every single time for Kuro now. That's just he's not going to get a good one in team fights. Might as well just freezing field. No, it fits him too. It like works really well with the heroes that they want, the Nagas, the Monkey Kings. They need mana early on and later on. So.
Which one are you going to focus on? Okay, so
I think they would probably want to prioritize just like the Miracle Hero, the
you know
Cheetah
what?
Hero,
Sure,
and then the
definitely.
third pick, probably the Kuroki Hero, save my control for 4th, and then Matu probably for last.
Do you know what just went through my mind? Our good friend Winter has had to theory craft this all night. That guy won't have had any sleep last night, will he?
Poor
He's
dude.
been up
Not a
all
lot.
night thinking he's a smart man. He really one of the smartest guys I know, and he's going to have been up all night theory crafting.
Hard worker as well. Winter
Yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
did like he probably watched like every single one of the games, like pinpointing every little tiny thing, like
Yeah.
looking at comment warrant spots, everything. Winter's
mean,
a very hard worker when
a
he
habit
touches.
of a chess player. You look
Yeah.
7 steps ahead.
Yeah.
If you want to do that in a draft, there's like so many possibilities.
I'm sure that this is probably the hardest part of the game as well, because he can't be there. He can't be in the booth. He's going to have to be backstage going, okay, guys, remember what I said about Plan 7?
No, they picked something different.
So
you did all you could, and still,
and they still couldn't drink the water that you led them to. We're going to take a couple of social media questions right now. I'm just hearing that there's a short delay in the draft beginning, so let's just take a few more questions. Thank you also for the questions that you put in the Reddit post. This one, which captain's drafting skills impressed the most in DAC 2017? We'll start with Ben. Who's had the best drafts?
IG's drafts have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like every single
Very
time.
on point, weren't they?
Yeah, and every time that they're open, I was like, man, that was a really good opener. I never was like, maybe they shouldn't have picked that. They also won most of their games too, but also like the Magnus and the Monkey King and the Earth Spirit that they get every time always puts the other team in like a really, really hard spot. I have to say IG.
Yeah?
Yeah,
do
but
you think like Flies had
I
some
was
good
gonna
drafts
say,
as well?
Yeah,
so
of course.
it says most impressed, right?
Yeah.
I already am impressed by Fly. He didn't impress me more this tournament because I know he's really good. But OG, I think, if you're talking about a good drafter, OG always is able to outdraft their opponents or at least never get a bad draft.
What was it Jarak said on Twitter jokingly?
Like someone,
Please, someone
on
outdraft
Instagram,
Jarak, outdraft Fly so we can have a hard game.
Yeah, I would have to say OG. I think just like Ben said, like IG as well. I think IG is a little bit more one-dimensional the way that they approach it, just because of like the hero picks they pick. Like I think OP plays like 3
Bit more
heroes, a lot
predictable.
more, right? Pretty much like 3 or 4 heroes like,
Yeah.
constantly, while OG definitely does expand and experiment a little bit more.
I really like the drafts today. During the group stage, I was like, it's group stage, group A opponents. But today, I was like,
It was very
I like
tight
Flies.
today, wasn't it? It was like almost the bans as well as the picks were absolutely what they should have been. It just felt comfortable. Yeah. Okay, IG and OG, I think, is the consensus on that one. Let's take one more question, and hopefully the draft won't be too far away. Do we have another one? We do. Top 3 worst or least viable heroes at the moment.
PL.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Earth Spirit.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Slada.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Slog.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Disruptor.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick.
Naga Siren.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's going to be really tough for Faceless.
Absolutely. I mean, Faceless, as we've heard kind of talking behind the scenes, always a lot of confidence from this team. That's something that they certainly don't lack there. They've got the mindset for this sort of a match, but best of one against Liquid. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Get ourselves in. I believe we did see, on the chat, GH indeed on the Naga. We're going through the side of Faceless first, though. Of course, Black on Slarg. Jams will be playing that Ember Spirit. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ice, Ice, Ice. Of course, targeted very heavily in the drafting stage, but will get himself that Abaddon. XY, you got to feel confident for him. He is on his Earth Spirit, and that is something that he's been showing us. He can play very well. Certainly has stepped up his performance this lap.
Haven't seen much of Kuro's Disruptor, but Magnus is staple. Miracle, there we go. Full position sliders coming out with GH handling the mid Naga Siren, and that will, of course, leave Matu on Lifestealer. Hero he's played quite a lot of, not necessarily like his most played hero by any means or like a signature hero of his, but definitely something he can play very well and that will suit this draft just fine.
Absolutely. So settle yourself down, ladies and gentlemen, for this final best of one of the day. Myself and Gods will be walking through it, and we wouldn't be able to do it, of course, without our observers, as Scriff and the boys on this game. So here we go. So Faceless with their lineup, there's already kind of addressed by the panel some worries with it. What's the plan here for Faceless? They have this slug. How do they get him out of control?
Do okay in the lanes for starters, which already going to be tricky for XY. Gets away. Looked like Kuro held onto his skill there, maybe considering a glimpse. And Faceless do not get one of the runes, although Ice manages to go in and sneak one. But yeah, going to be a tough lane for the Ember Spirit especially. It looks like Slider's going to be roaming around, very active in the lane. Potentially Disruptor can look to make moves as well. But I think the lanes is kind of the first key point for them. Magnus want to zone him out, prevent him from getting much out of the lane, getting Slark free farm, getting Slark involved at the earliest possible stage of this game to me is one of the kind of key points for Faceless, because they don't want this game to drag. Slark will not scale into the late game against the Naga.
No, it's going to be interesting to keep a keen eye on the rotations from XY
doing
as
some
well.
pulls. Not sure if he was. Looks like he missed that one.
Yeah, didn't grab any creeps that time around there on the top lane. That's why I tried to make something happen. As you said, this bottom lane, Nuts trying to do his best job to keep mind control away from Black, make sure that the Slug has the space required. Mid lane, it's Jabs versus GH matchup. Already trying to get a bit of harassment down. I mean, Ember Spirit versus the Naga straight up. We know there's mid heroes that have trouble kind of dealing with the illusions and such. Is the Ember Spirit one of them? Is this going to be a tough lane for Jabs?
It's okay for him. Both players should get some alright farm here. I don't imagine Jabs will get pressured out or anything. He can always just pop a flame guard when the illusions come out if he wants to try and clear them a bit. And those illusions at least give it a small fraction of gold early on.
On top lane, Miracle and Kuroki getting a bit heavy-handed onto Ice.
That's the good news. Ice will keep both supports busy. Ooh, wow, yes. Very early kill there. The Slark able to chomp him down with the early Essence Shift. 6 stacks picked up, so I imagine just traded a few too many hits. Slark's one of the few heroes that actually trades hits against poor man shields better than most carries because he is stealing those stats. And early on, losing your HP to the Essence Shift can be a big deal. And he doesn't have a TP back to lane, so Miracle actually TP's bottom just to make sure no one misses out on that free XP and theoretically a couple of CS, although he doesn't get those ones under the tower.
And of course, this is obviously good news for Jabs in that mid lane, meaning that he's not having to worry about the Slardar's rotation at this current moment in time with that movement down towards the bottom.
Good news for top lane, like less pressure on Ice, more he can get out of the lane, so all across the board, that's a big first blood just because of that TP forced as well.
Mid lane again, Jabs coming out from the invis with that flame guard and poking GH back. 12 for 4 against the 11 for 1. Very close at the moment in this mid lane.
This is definitely a big comfort here for Jabs, and there's good reason why Faceless first states this hero, which isn't being picked all that much.
Top lane, Ice with the shield and the TP out. He'll be a little more fortunate than Liquid's offlaner earlier. As mind controls suffered with that play, but it works out for the Abaddon. Ice back to base safely.
Yeah, talked about how important this lane stage will be for Faceless, and at least the lanes themselves have proven to be very stable for them, finding a first blood, not really succumbing to any early Slarder rotation, so has led to a good start for them. Magnus already feeling like he needs to rotate into the jungle, and does mean they're going to kind of split the farm more, like Magnus can get some levels and XP there. And then, wow, GH.
That mid lane, GH playing on the very edge. Does have that Fairy Fire that he can slightly rely on. Yeah, and Bottle's just making his way out. Yeah, looks like he's going to shrine up as well with Kuro.
Yeah, both players will go through their shrines early on here, but that's fine. That's what they're there for. And close but no cigar. GH probably knew what he was doing there.
Looking at the two safe lanes at the moment, both getting pretty good farm. Matuma Man 17 for 2, Black 19 for 4.
Yep.
Difference in the off-laner situation, though, of course, being Ice indeed did find just a bit of a better time, and he's getting farm himself up there.
Yeah, he's just uncontested experience from the lane. He hasn't been bullied out of this lane one bit whatsoever. Level 3.5 or so. Early phase boots coming clear for him, so this has been a very effective start for him, whereas Magnus going down, being forced back in the jungle. And it's just the worst thing. When you die as an offlaner in that position while you're trying to TP out, it sucks because you can't TP to lane. So that lane pushes to your tower and you just miss like 8 creeps worth of experience. We saw it in an earlier game as well. You're going to make that walk of shame. The Slarder TP's there, so it's at least not wasted XP.
Ooh, top lane, look at this Ice trying to set up for the bait as XY comes rolling in with a 2-man boulder smash. Kuroki and Matuma Man falling low. Kuro's down. Matuma looking for a kill in return, will take down Ice. At the same time, down bottom, Miracle managed to get close and personal, taking down Nuts still. Top lane, the chase continues, but they don't have anything else to throw in under the tower. Matuma Man will survive, but he is going to have to take that long trek back to base.
Ends up, yeah, if not for Matu getting so low and having to leave the lane, it probably would have been a bad one for one trade with Lifestealer getting a solo kill, but considering he's now out of the lane, I guess Disruptor alone is actually very vulnerable.
And look at this aggression from XY. Will immediately glimpse back the Earth Spirit, but Ice will stick in Disruptor's face and make sure that they are able to take down Kuroki. XY already making the crucial plays that his team needs him to.
Probably not the hero you wanted to glimpse back there, but you're getting dived. You got to glimpse someone, and Kuro goes down. Jabs now kind of with free control over this mid lane, as it seems, Naga's going to pull back, try and use the jungle as well as the lane as much as possible. And Jabs, your best thing here is to try and shove the lane, keep pressure onto the tower, keep GH honest, keep him in the lane so he's not just farming away in the jungle and also getting the lane farm. You want to make it so that if he goes in the jungle, he's going to miss CS in the mid lane.
I mean, we've seen XY pulling off these successful rotations. I mean, can we expect to see Kuro starting to get a little active, or is it only Miracle that can move? Does Kuroki have to stay in Imatuma Man?
Doesn't seem likely. Ice.
In trouble there. Matuma Man just straight up diving the tower. Ice will look for the juice. Can he pull them off? He's trying to make his way around the tree line with the Thunder Strike. And also Miracle came around just in case he was required. Indeed, Kuroki and Matuma Man having enough tools to take down Ice as he was getting a little bit greedy, hanging around in lane on a very, very low health.
And using the shield and showing he had no mana. Once you've been shielded, open wounds can come out. So even though Matu's happy to go on you with that.
Once again, it's smoke up from the boys on Faceless to set up an attempt on the life of Mind Control. Does still have the skewer. And with a smash in the roll already used, he'll be able to get himself out away.
Yep.
Just a little too tanky there for the two supports to deal with.
It's kind of even things up a bit with the offlaners. Those deaths on Ice has made things a bit more even, but you can see kind of the pressure on the carries leading to Slack having a bit more farm than Lifesteal, but still very even early game. And I think that's where you're happy if you're Liquid. You're playing the Naga strat. You've got the Slaughter Lifestealer bombs coming later. You've got plenty of strong mid-game tools.
Bottom lane. Wrap around from Black. And a play from XY to set it up. XY could be in trouble though as Mind Control. Looking to find a kill in return, and with the skewer slow, he should do so. One more touch will do it. No, the stick charges keep XY alive. And in fact, he's going to be able to roll himself away into the hands though of GH. GH looking to finish off the kill. He's going to try for the deny. It's not going to work, XY, so they will get him in the end.
And Miracle got a kill on the Crystal Maiden. Miracle TP'd in, ignored what was going on to the north, found the CM kill. So 2 support kills in return. Good response from Liquid, punishing the dive, and all it was for a disruptor. So, well, it's nice for Black to get that kill for him and his team. It doesn't really amount to a huge gain or win for Faceless.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Jabs continuing to try and force the pressure in. Kuro's there to pick up the levels.
Straight travels, no Veil, kind of suggesting more late game oriented play. And also just wanting that global ganking option, but Veil's one of those items where if you're thinking you're gonna win early mid, you go for it, but...
Bottom lane, Mind Control and Miracle coming in, looking for nuts, but the rotation from Black and XY in response, looking to find something and then in fact they're gonna get Miracle by looks of it. No, the stomp, the crush holds him back. Miracle will be fine, Nuts still being chased down. Can Black pick up the kill in return? Mind Control has the skewer. And they're going to be able to hit a smash or such. They've got the smash back available. They'll try for the shot, but Mind Control looks to get himself out. Black continuing to try and close, goes for a pounce, won't make it.
So
and Mind Control, getting himself back to safety. And of course, as we saw earlier, Miracle also escaping what looked like a potential for Faceless to turn it around.
Break some of those illusions, but still had a very successful early game here on the Ember. He is level 8, so this is where you'd hope for Jabs to perhaps get active in a side lane, but I think Jabs is telling his team, I'm waiting for a good rune. This is where rune control can be very important. A haste or an invis, haste particularly on an Ember Spirit, can open up kills around the map. He doesn't really want to leave this lane knowing that there's a Naga free farming. If you start playing too gank heavy, Naga's going to pull ahead on farm and never look back. So Jabs has prioritized his own farm over rotating so far, but potentially can change with a key rune, potentially will change with the Boots of Travel. For now, there's just nothing Faceless can do to contest the Naga's farm in that jungle and in that mid lane.
Another rotation here from Faceless as they group up. Is going to be able to find Miracle. And let's see if he can get himself away this time. And it doesn't look like he can with the stun control that Faceless have. This time they'll be able to punish Miracle's rotation.
Yep. Still a lot of space being made by Miracle, and he's still got the basic items despite like how active and present he's been in that kind of dire area, just the raindrops, the tranquils. He hasn't started towards his blink, but we're going to reach a point where he'll be given a lane. Matu may head to the jungle, Slada can take over that safe lane, perhaps around that armlet timing, so not the easiest lane to take over. Dealing with an Abaddon is pretty miserable, but we're seeing Faceless basically take the approach that they're going to fight the Naga Siren greed with mostly their own greed.
I mean, I was seeing when Mind Control was in the head. There was a smoke up, obviously, from Faceless in that mid lane. Mind Control, he has RP. He's just picked up an Invis rune as well.
That's
I mean, if he comes here for the counterplay, but it looks like Miracle's actually going to meet the play head on as the smoke straight into the Slaughter. They'll get Miracle. Second time in quick succession, pretty much.
Skewering the tower,
Can he do something big? He's going to go straight for Jazz. Oh, no! I mean, on the plus, no! He's going to get out!
There's
no!
What? Okay. He got glimpse.
He did get glimpse. A little weird because he was standing still. He was like, hang on. He got glimpsed. He got glimpse on spot.
Yeah.
I was like, hang on.
TP low.
But there we have it. They got it. They got the kill nonetheless. In fact, top lane as well. Matuma Man panning up, and XY's on the sidelines.
He needs an infest.
Oh, there we have it.
Oh, that was barely in time.
That's
XY
silence.
tried to silence him.
So close. And Matuma Man survives, and of course he's, I mean, it's not the nicest of lanes to farm him, but he's still hitting the creeps and he's getting the solo XP up there.
Yep.
So I don't think Matuma Man will be too annoyed with how this laning stage has gone.
Should feel pretty good. Yeah, Baden, one of the more annoying offlaners to deal with. You just can't zone him with like 2 heroes most of the time, and you see Miracle moving around the map on the bottom side of the map in the enemy jungle. So things are kind of stabilized. This is a stage of the game where I feel like Liquid might try and prioritize that Slider blink a bit more. Alternatively, they may just be like, hey, who cares about Slider's blink timing? We got a Naga free farming. Let's just have Miracle keep running at them. We can get a 20-minute blink and we don't care. But you really need to be able to enable your lifesteal. And I feel like one of the blink daggers. So if not the Slider blink, prioritize the Magnus blink. Get a blink online so you can start doing some infest bombs. And then you can create more space for your Naga. Open up the map, take towers. Any towers you take pushes the lanes, gets you access to the enemy jungle, makes there just a lot more resources and farm on the map. And Naga can pull even further ahead.
On top lane again, Ice going in onto Matuma Man. Miracle is there. They're going to look to turn, but his face is here with the response. It's not quick enough though. They lose the Abaddon. Liquid again, getting away with these players up top. Matuma now on the killing spree. With that like armlet done as well, he's going to get harder and harder for Faceless to punish.
It's a very, very annoying hero to verse the offlane because of how tanky he is, and that's like suits Ice, but don't feel like he's played all over Baden because he's died now 3-4 times. It has been a bit of a rough lane for him with these rotations coming in, and Matu getting these kills on him. These add up. These is getting Matu a lot of farm. And Abaddon is still farming. Like, Ice is not just dying and getting nothing out of this lane. He's getting good farm out of the lane. He's out farming the Magnus, but it's more the fact that he's accelerating Matu's progression. He's got ultimate.
This man is in a lot of trouble. The TP will come through, but Ice indeed getting chased down. Juke it out through the tree line, and now Matuma Man could be in trouble. Jabs looking to hunt him down here. And with the burst there of the ultimate, bringing him low, Matuma Man's got to get himself out of range and go off with the armlet toggling. And it looks like it may just save him here. Jabs unable to chase on him. Matuma Man getting away with this play.
It looked like he missed the Searing Chain Slight combo there, which is a bit unfortunate. Hard to hit them on a single target in Fog, but something you'd expect Jabs to land. And Faceless making room though. Black wanting this tower. This will get him very close to the Shadow Blade, but needs to really respect the Disruptor ultimate. It looks like the ping's coming suggests Faceless are not going to die for this tower. They can wait, regroup. They've got the vision there with the ward, and they're not going to play around it. Really good Radiant vision here at the bottom tower in the enemy jungle, so they can see the Naga farming. They can also see and protect their Slack in the safe lane, and also have vision around the mid lane. Like, every kind of key spot currently is warded for them.
And it certainly feels like this Naga, I mean, there's something needs to be done more than just watching him, as GH is very close to the relic, top of the net worth, and it's not going to get any better for Faceless if they're unable to stop him at this stage.
Perhaps just banking on this, the ability to scale themselves. They've got 3 cores that scale well to the late game. Embers rush the Boots of Travel, so as mentioned, this is a less of a fighting build than the Veil. Like, Veil is like, you want to fight now, you want to really do a ton of damage, but can they get Miracle?
Again,
They know he's likely alone up here. This is the stage of the game where you're like, all right, Liquid are sending their full position to take the safe lane to get his blink. Let's punish this.
Well, if XY can get the connection, which indeed he can, they should be able to find this one. Miracle has one crush to hold them, but here we have the follow through from Jabs. And again, they will find the kill. And they'll turn into this tier 1 push as well, especially with Black turning up as well in the neighborhood. Getting closer and closer to that Shadow Blade.
Good call from Black. Get out of that safe lane. Your team are making an aggressive move up top. Bottom lane is not safe for you. You're going to get more farm in your jungle. Even go for that gank, go for that tower. His team doesn't need him, so he's in the jungle. They get the tower without him, and that Shadow Blade will come up very fast as a result. Does feel like for Liquid, they've been somewhat restricted in their options because these blinks have come out fairly slow. They're going to have one now on the Magnus with that tower. It's not terrible timing, 15-minute blink dagger, but Lifestealer hasn't been able to get kills outside of the lane. Like, he's been able to kill Ice through some great individual play using just the early phase boots movement speed, but hasn't been able to actually go for any infest bombs. He hasn't had an infest target until a blink's online, and that's going to only happen now. So we'll see if Matu can get active in the other lanes.
Matu's just seen himself a Crystal Maiden. Oh, yeah. Come here. Come here, little lady. The Ice is there to protect him. No, sir. Get away from my maiden. Matuma Man does not listen. Brings him down, and into the creep he goes for the free ride back home.
Well, can they deny them?
Got to be careful though, FL. Liquid have mind control with that blink and RP. Where's Matuma Man?
He's
already
way out.
He's already out.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh, he took control, and in fact, whoa, there we go with the turnaround. Straight in onto XY will be protected.
Rage is down though.
Got to be careful. Miracle as well, ready for the fight. Black with the Shadow Blade, looking to try and lead in onto one of the backliners. Will go for the easier kills. Looks towards Kuroki, takes down the Disruptor, but the Static Storm's there into the crush. They're managing to control Black here, bringing him down low. Again, he's still got the Shadow Dance, continuing to fight. The Song's there to stop it all, though.
That was going to be a big CM ultimate. Luckily, the Song was up. Otherwise,
it's a good job.
Bad for them.
GH turning up there pretty much saved that from being an absolute disaster for Liquid.
That CM ult was going to clean up, and Matu really pushing his hero to the limit there. Getting a lot of damage done, wasting a lot of spells, and did a really good job infesting in his creep, and his team completely left him. Like the Slatter sprinting away, the Magnus is blinking out of there. If either of those heroes gets caught in a Searing Chains or in a Boulder Smash from that Earth Spirit, it's very bad, because the only way they can save and kind of keep Matu protected while infested is by having those heroes alive, and well, things will settle down now. GH may not be involved in too many kills, or doing much damage, but that is indeed your job as a Naga Siren at this point.
Absolutely. Mid lane, Boulder Smash will connect onto Matuma Man with the chains, bringing him down low. That's that arm there. And of course, full backup from Liquid. Mind control still with the RP. If Faceless are going to want to try and come forward with this. Black potentially waiting to go for a counter initiation if Liquid do go for some sort of a jump. As he hides there with the Shadow Blade. Mind control, letting himself be heard. As he will alert Faceless to his presence. And just trying to stop this pressure coming out. And it is just creating more and more space for GH.
And like I said, even though they're going for these occasional moves, these smoke rotations, the overall big picture game plan is to go greed if you're Faceless. You've got the Boots of Travel Rush on Ember, the Radiance, Midas from your Abaddon. Slack is probably one of the heroes that maybe doesn't power farm, but can still play. He's still going to scale well into the late game and just look for pickoffs on supports, look to just jungle it up with Dark Pack. So we're going to see a farm game out of Faceless. 3 scaling cores. They're just going to accept the fact that they're going to get a very farm Naga on the other side. Lifesteal's a hero that doesn't necessarily scale amazing well the late game. I say that hesitantly because he's got Empower and he's got a Slatter to enable him.
For sure, Empower is
I think he's going to scale all right. Even though it's a hero that typically gets kited, but he does struggle against heroes like Slack, Ember, these mobile cores, even heroes like Abaddon, because he just ultis. You can't actually, none of these cores are good Lifestealer targets.
On mid lane, mind control. Is he going to find the skewer back? Size does have some backup coming through, but Matuma will go for the rage and the chase down, and there's Glimpse. Reposition, Size, make sure they get the kill. Nice Static Storm as well from Kuroki, just to make sure that there's no reaction possible from Faceless.
It was looking like a potential turnaround if they don't silence the backlines, but Ember split pushing up top. Not going for any kind of a blink RP, didn't have backup there, jabs. Gonna go back for the Veil now, or at least he's queued it up. Interesting little choice. Prioritizing the travels first, but has managed to make some use out of them. Finding those picks around the sides. And we'll see if he commits to that. There we go. He's going to buy the full Veil. And as it stands, Faceless able to continue trying to make some moves with this Shadow Blade.
Just really trying to make the plays around this area where they have their own sentry.
Yeah, he knows it's can't be warded because of that. He won't be running into a sentry there, but if he goes any further, underneath the tower or above it, he will be running into various sentries that poor Kuro is going to have to continue to buy this game. He gets the GPM talent. You got it.
You got it if you get hammer,
I think you get it every game. The 100 cast range is not enough to justify. Glimpses already has, 1,800. What's another 100? That's nothing. That's not worth getting. But hopefully the 60 GPM will pay for his sentries this game, because he is going to have to buy a lot.
Let's see what they can find with this. Miracle just picked up the Blink Dagger, ready to go for a big reveal. XY, the closest to the moment the scam will hit. Liquid know that they're on the right course.
Naga Illusion expires, so they lose that bit of vision, but they'd love to get a core, but you take the support kills as well. Ember,
jabs would be a perfect pick here, and there we have straight in with the lead-in and the execution. Liquid get exactly what they came for.
Nice quick kill, get out. Easy peasy, and Liquid, while that's going on, Naga farming. No surprise
it's starting
there.
to look scary, the climb, already reaching nearly 2K ahead of Black Slark. And at this pace, with this sort of momentum from both sides, that that gap is certainly only going to increase unless Black can start to get himself involved and find those pickoffs. We saw him earlier just kind of sit around mid. He's backed up back to the farm, trying to take what he can from Liquid's half of the jungle so we can have that Echo Saber complete and have a little bit more sustainability in these team fights. And they are putting some pressure onto this tier 2 up top, Faceless. Liquid yet to look for any sort of an answer to it, and in fact, looks like they'll just let this one go to Faceless.
It's the vision factor. They want to fight around their wards, not around your opponent's ward. You know that Faceless have taken over your jungle, which means you also know they've gotten wards down, and finding where there's that cliff ward at top is just a recipe for disaster. Slark can easily get into the back lines. Ember can easily find ways to initiate on support, so just not a fight you're interested in. It's a losing battle, even with the pick on the Ember. Ember's got travels. He respawns, he's up there. It's a 5v5.
And there we have it. And that Echo Saber. And Faceless, they really want to make something happen with the Slark in the action.
Yep. Yeah, now they've pushed out that top lane. They're not going to get any more up there. Black's returned, and
he's got to be so careful, though. I mean, Miracle's catch, Static Storm, RP, having to play around these two huge AoE ultimates that can cause absolute havoc for him. And Black now with the chase down, taking out Kuroki first. Could be big. The sentry will be dropped. Did get the dart packed up, but he's no, he's not trapped. Will manage to make his way out. Shadow Dance is there, turns towards Matumba Man, and Jabs jumps across in and out as well, looking to keep mind control on the back of it all. Bring down Matumba Man. Miracle in response gets XY, but Jabs wraps around. They'll take it 2, they'll get 3. GH couldn't quite get close enough to stop the slaughter. As Faceless will find 3. Black just in time, able to lead in and kick that fight off before Liquid had the full chance to turn it around and get the initiation themselves, which they were so close to, with Kuro heading up to the high ground and trying to throw that sentry down.
That's great play from Black.
Yeah.
He just goes in.
And getting out of the field with that dart pact. Just
Very
over the edge of the field,
yeah. Make sure he escapes it so he can get the ulti off, and then he comes back in. And Earth Spirit doing everything he can to help out, throws the Magnetize on the lifesteal. I'm not sure that was needed to get the kill, but guarantees it. Against the potential armlet toggles, you want all the damage you can get.
Oh, and a GH kill would be perfect for Faceless if they can find it. Boulder Smash to set up. You can already see Miracle making his way down here. He knows that they need to save this Naga Siren. GH, very long mana. Black as well, ready for the cleanup. Straight in onto the Naga Siren. Jabs will get himself out safely. Miracle has no lifestealer with him until now. Matumba Man now ready to gear up. Go for the 2-player combo, and they will find one at least. Straight in, Jabs is out. Black ready to turn once again. Does have Shadow Dance available. Black very happy to fight at this point of the game. Ice is there as well with backup if required. Black straight in. The Shadow Dance was off just in time, so the RP, it doesn't matter.
Oh, the position from the freezing field, very good as well from Nuts. Doesn't look like they've got a TP cancel, though. Nuts has been really on point with his positioning. Every time I see a freezing field come out, I'm very impressed with how he forces a song, he gets off a lot of damage, and, well, Black again continuing to be that very active, present carry with how farmed he is.
And he's looking for more. I mean, that fight, again, it could have been more messy for Liquid if Kuro wasn't able to hold back the 2 of them with that Static Storm.
This is a tough Slark game, too, playing against Magnus, Slaughter, Disruptor, and he has made it work.
I mean, where does he go next with his items? Do we expect to see an early BKB? Is it worth getting the Silver Edge, you feel?
You want the BKB for I don't know if it's his next item, but you definitely need BKB. This game is just it's always a matter of when. Do you want to get it early and go down to a 5-second BKB? I feel like having a short BKB isn't going to be a big problem this game. You just want BKB to get out of Static Storm and make it so that you can fight more aggressively into your opponents. But Silver Edge first, get some more stats. Liquid in the Roche pit, they go. A lot of Radiant Vision around this area.
Yeah, they should be certainly aware, and indeed they are. TPs across are coming.
It's dying fast, though.
There's no RP, so Liquid, without one of their big ultimates for this. Ice, ready to lead in. Matumba Man trying to focus down, finish the Roche. The Radiant will get the kill, but Matumba Man did grab the Aegis.
Oh, Static Storm.
The setup is going to be beautiful here as he gets it onto 3. Black trapped in the midst of it all. Sentry is down. Can they actually kill him? No. He got the Shadow Dance off in time. Black survives, turns towards Matumba, takes the Aegis out of his hands, and again, Nuts with these freezing fields in the midst of it all, calling Liquid to just spread. There's the Frostbite onto Matumba. They're looking for the chase down. They've got the Curse of Averna Slow through the magic immunity. Black has to be a little careful. Shadow Dance isn't available, but they can tank it up. The Shrine doesn't matter. Matumba Man to fall as well. And again, Faceless are just playing these team fights that little bit better than Liquid.
I felt like they thought they had to focus. Earth Spirit's a huge problem in these fights, but he's still silenced. Like
Look during at the damage Abaddon did. 5k damage.
Well, okay, that's Radiance for you.
I mean,
yeah,
I guess with prolonged fights, it does add up.
And we saw that earlier with ROTK
Yeah.
on the high ground hold against NP. Yeah, Abaddon having a Radiance actually wins this fight.
He just sits there and is, you know, doing the work. But I mean, this setup here.
Oh,
I mean, again,
don't
Black.
see the Slark.
They drop
I
a
was
sentry now. They
wondering
drop
why-
a sentry now.
Okay,
but it's too late. The shield was already out.
Yeah,
And
I'm wondering,
that
like,
shield,
why did they focus Earth Spirit, not Slark, up in the silence? And yeah, they didn't have detection. The sentry was just out of range. If they saw the Slark there, they focus him, they kill him. That's a guaranteed Slark kill in that silence. And the fact he's invis and there's no sentries, that wins Liquid. It may have been close. It may have been like a 50-50 fight because Abaddon's Radiance is a really strong power point for him to be fighting at. But man, that was clutch, that Black is invis. He's been amazing this game on his Slark.
He's stepping it up. But at the same time, we've got to remember, this is still a game where GH, top of the net worth. We've seen games, it feels like, that have been in a very bad situation for Liquid when they have this Naga. It's just so hard to write Liquid out of a game when GH is playing the Naga Siren. You know, for Faceless, they've still got a hell of a lot to go through if they wish to take this best of one. Top lane. Oh, we're going to see a little bit of a solo kill. It looks like we are. Black finding Miracle out on his lonesome. And another kill to add to his tally. 7-0-5 on this Slark so far.
Yeah. Ice will continue to get his items up. Going for an Ags, which is not conventional, or at least right now. Like the current Abaddon build is more Octarines, Solar Crest, Low Sorbs. Like everything else up until this point is pretty normal, but the Ags is going to look to help out his team. If 2 or 3 of his teams get caught in this,
RP'd,
you can save the Slark. The damage block is really, really nice. This is much more about protecting the Ember or the Slark if they get jumped on by an Infest Bomb combo or get caught in a Static Storm. If you're in the area, you just pop that ultimate, soak up a lot of the damage.
Nice. Just making some solar pushes down here.
Why not? He's about to hit level 20 is a... Speaking of peaks for Abaddon, that's definitely one of them. That cooldown reduction is crazy.
That's a free tier 2 as well.
Yeah, he's...
okay, backdoor protection kicking back in.
Just kidding.
Very, very low. Liquid... Well, they want to come around here. I mean, Faceless, they do have 4 of them. Now, just deny the tower, but of course now, Faceless taking all outer towers off the map of Liquid.
We're seeing Naga Illusions placed in such annoying spots. Like, there was one between the Tier 1, Tier 2 top, one by the Tier 3 mid. GH, watching his splits has definitely been great. Have to Song TP away from this.
Do have the boulder smash. Oh my goodness, XY from the laning stage onwards. Been pulling off the plays that have really cemented this momentum that Faceless have built upon. And maybe not be done yet. Matuma Man will jump out, look towards Jabs, but Jabs, he's got the backup of Ice. The boulder smash is there onto Miracle. Matuma will try for the TP out. Do they have the damage? They don't. He'll get back. I believe he got changed in the base there.
Yeah, he's taking damage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Kura dies. That was over there. We'll see that life stealer. TP'd while he got changed, I guess.
They're ready to try and push up for the high ground. I mean, 3 heroes dead on Liquid.
10 Essence Shift, not the greatest, but it's something. And there's 3 cores dead.
You've got the curse.
You don't really want to buy back. Naga doesn't have sleep. That's a level 2 song, so it's quite a long cooldown. A full minute without sleep. They've probably seen that. They're like, wait, this Naga's not level 18. We're fine. They can't sleep us. They've got no song into Static Storm combo.
My goodness. That boulder smash from XY pretty much allowing the sequence of events to happen.
Where was this Faceless in the group stage? They have stepped it up here in the main event. They're such a... This is like the bo1 team, you know. All the big matches they've won in international lands have always been bo1s. They did it at Dota Pit. They haven't won this game, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's the Naga
game. There's a Naga Siren.
It's looking good right now.
Yeah, it really is. This is certainly what... the place that I feel Faceless would have wanted to be. They're 29 minutes in to have this sort of control, as we can see, as we keep mentioning, obviously GH at the top, but then, bam, you've got Black, Ice, and Jabs quickly behind. I mean, Black as well. You've got to consider we're 30 minutes into a game, and this is a Slark that's only 500 gold behind a Naga Siren who had a very good Radiance timing.
That was the key thing. It's 3 cores all getting a lot of farm on the side of Faceless. For Liquid, GH soaks up farm in all 3 lanes. Like, Magnus is dirt poor, 9.5k net worth. Matu is under farm. Like, this is the result of having a Naga in your team, is that your cores do not get as farm. They've also tried to be focused like on going for these rotations, trying to create space for Naga, but at some point you're just going to say, like, we don't need to create space for Naga. She can create space for us. Let Naga create room for Lifestealer, from Mag to actually get some items. They need items for this game to go into the late game. You can't just be the Naga. And there's the armor for the Ember. This is definitely nice. The free plate mail against the Slider Lifestealer will help a lot in terms of survivability. Gets him up to close to 30 armor now.
Looks like Liquid will be able to get themselves an objective with this push down onto the tier 2. Ice though, Aghanims is now complete.
He's just going to run in. Doesn't really have to be afraid of all too much.
And next team fight could be very hard for them. I mean, how do you play around this Aghanims Abaddon?
Kind of got to ignore him. Try catch him in the silence with a +1. Like, you don't want to focus him in the silence, but you want to catch him and then like some other core hero, ideally.
Oh, baited. Fake TP cancel there.
Not sure. There wasn't really any Radiant Vision.
Yeah, didn't have any vision. I guess it was just.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't TP here into the darkness.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid have held control over this Radiant jungle for some time. Ember at bottom. There's no silence for him, so yeah, Jabs will. Yeah, he slides, he gets out. He's not messing around. And then Liquid show themselves, so they reveal what looked like Faceless already had a pretty good idea of.
Faceless could try and force them to back up. I mean, these racks are exposed.
Yeah.
And Jabs seeping in with the boosted travel, yeah. They're going to get a bit of pressure back onto the racks. Look for the permanent range racks damage to at least try and take something.
Going for the range, knowing that they know they're going to get a response here. A song setup is pretty scary, and they're expecting to be repelled, so they're going for the reliable damage. Get a range racks if possible. If not, who cares? It's permanent damage. Back off, farm. Yeah, they're already drawing lines. Push out this bottom lane. Ice is telling his team, and they're circling the jungle, like probably saying, let's deward this, let's farm it. Like right now, I think Faceless don't care if this goes late game, and they should. Yes, Naga is a good late game carry, very annoying. Split pushes the whole map, but if you've got 3 cores against a Naga, you will beat the Naga in late game, and that probably is what it feels like right now. Lifestealer would, if he was on par with Slark and Farm, he'd be fine late game. He gets empowered, he gets the Slider amp damage to work with him, but he's struggling. He's struggling to keep up. He's getting a lot of farm taken away because Naga illusions are pushing every lane. That's your job as a Naga, but the end result is that Matu is not finding the farm he needs.
Oh, GH with that Octarine completion. Picks it straight up as well out of hand, 6k gold in the bank. So, I mean, this game, the ultimate test for Faceless, beating this Naga Siren. As we've said, they're certainly building up to the power that's required to be able to do so. But GH's Naga pretty much flawless in the group stage. And here on the main stage, certainly he himself still having a very similar level of performance. Yep. He's had the space. I mean, granted, his team has certainly been creating it for him. And he has not messed up at all. No, with what that space has provided him.
It's been a flawless game. Like, I talk about Matu being under farm, like, there's no, like, oh, it's not like a scenario where, oh, GH, give some farm to Matu. It's like, he's meant to be farming kills. That's why Black's so farmed. He's got half the CS of the Naga almost. He had, like, 220 to Naga's 380 CS or something, you know? But he's been getting kills. He's been active. If Lifestealer had found, like, a similar amount of kills and involvement as the Slark, it'd be a very different case in terms of net worth.
Smoke up and go here from the side of Faceless. The line's been drawn. It's straight into the hands of Liquid. Can Liquid get the jump? GH on the front lines pops the song. Only catches the CM though, because on the sidelines, Faceless already trying to chase down Miracle. Miracle still with Matamaman side and blinks away back to safety.
Very split up fight, and Liquid, yeah, they don't want anything to do with it.
Someone needs to help Nuts. I mean, he's got a... Someone really needs to help Nuts. Jabs, he's there. That's we'll be able to live another day.
Dirty Naga hands off Nuts.
Well, look at these lanes, constantly pressing that bottom lane especially.
Yep.
Mid lane starting to work back in favor of Faceless. They come down the mid lane, Black. Let's try and see if we can find something on the back of this.
Not something that, I mean, Faceless can slowly kill it, but last time it was Liquid who forced the fight around it. They're the ones with the Slider Lifestealer, but considering Faceless' map control and their vision, the vision is the big thing here. They've got such good control and high ground wards around the Roche pit, so very difficult for Liquid to maneuver around this area. Slider, yeah, let's say Slider has to have a gem at this stage, but it's a great ward spot. The cliff ward not being scouted out, not being spotted just yet, and very unlikely to be scouted out unless it's a very uncommon ward spot. We may be seeing more of it after a game like this, because that ward right now is giving tons of info for Faceless. This is giving them full vision of what Liquid are up to.
Might even see the smoke if they go for it. They do have one.
Oh my god, that is such an MVP ward.
They do, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, absolutely, as you're saying.
Ice will just run at him.
Yep,
He's like,
we know you got to smoke it, boys. Hello.
What's the plan, he says?
I mean, he's going in very YOLO here, Ice.
He's Abaddon.
He's got his ult, he's got his axe, he don't care, and jabs, ready to make the fight happen.
Oh, Ice is...
They haven't managed to take Miracle yet. Ice, the YOLO is probably not going to pay off. He'll try and run his way away. He's not going to make it. 1-for-1 at the moment. Jabs is trapped in the static storm, and now Black and XY, the tag team, turn up. They'll take down Matuma Man, turn towards Kuroki, cancelling the TP there with the Searing Chains. And again, Faceless may have lost Ice, but he certainly died for a good cause.
Yeah, he scouted everything. Perhaps a bit too YOLO. It's one of those... Abaddon's such a weird hero to play. You think you're unkillable, and you kind of are for a little while, but Song is a great way to waste the borrowed time. And he's got down to like 50 HP before his ultimate even triggered from some kind of burst damage there, so very close to not even getting his ultimate off, it looked like. But as it stands, they're ready to force the high ground. They want to get back to work on this range
in there. Yeah, range tracks down.
Possibly the melee. There is RP still, and Blink Skewer is pretty damn annoying to push into as well.
Miracle. Look at the first crush. Very, very slippery. BKB, Shadow Dance, and Silver Edge all available off cooldown. The fortification will come out.
Ooh,
Black questioning whether he can finish that melee Rex, but it looks like they are going to respect the fact that Liquid are back up, and
the creep
even though they've got it so low.
Look at the illusions, the Naga illusions, mid, top. Every single wave being skipped here. And
it's holding them in.
I think the backdoor protection was going to kick in at mid, so they actually couldn't continue hitting it once they vacated. And that Rex will heal back up, so not the end of the world. I mean, for Faceless, they're still perfectly happy. They're winning the fights, they're getting the kills. They took a range Rex. It's still some money. It's not really a key objective. Like, the lane push is pretty unnoticeable. Even a melee Rex at this stage wouldn't be a big deal because you're versing a Naga, but it's progress and it's further farm for them.
But as we said, they really need to kill this Naga. They cannot push whilst GH is allowed to do this.
They've had some really nice pickoffs on her with that long-range boulder smash.
Black lead in.
Whoa.
Will disperse the smoke of Kuro. Just comes out. Immediate blink back from Miracle. Just in time as well before the missed call connects.
Black pings out where the wards are. He's scouted them now, so they should be able to swoop in and de-ward that pretty easily, but very tense around this Roche pit. Liquid want to try and get a pick so they can secure it for themselves.
Now Black's going to try and play his way around this vision that he knows is there towards the north.
God, Miracle's just like, I do not want to go on this Abaddon.
Yeah, both teams. I mean, Liquid especially being very careful about how they initiate. GH does now have his butterfly as well, so I mean, as we keep saying, this Naga Siren now 6k ahead of the Slark. It's getting bigger and better, that difference for GH, that lead that he has.
Definitely. Oh, escapes just in time from the... I thought he had a Shadow Blade, but that's a very poor slider as well. We talked about how the Matu and Mind Control were struggling in terms of farm. Miracle is a full position slider. This is where you'd normally see like a Blink Midas. He can't even... One thing, he doesn't have money for a Midas, but for another, it's like he can't get Force. He can't get like a Shadow... You want a Shadow Blade this game so you can actually catch heroes like Ember and Slark with a Shadow Blade initiation. Very difficult for him to find anything. Casual mech for Magnus, that's a surprising pickup, but I imagine he wants the Greaves to get out of the silence from Earth Spirit, or even getting out of like a Searing Chains. So yeah, he's already actually upgraded the Greaves, but it's a bit of an odd way to get out of that.
Oh, they've found GH. Black actually getting the jump onto Kuroki, and he is not going to get away safely. BKB up on Black, allowing him to fight through the song.
Again, an attempted boulder smash from afar, but GH wasn't TP. Just for the same play, so that is the 10-second BKB, was it? I want to say.
Yeah, that was the first use. So I actually did know to use. Yeah, it was the first use. Yeah, it was the first use. Yeah.
We'll see if it secures them Roshan, because they kill Roche at a pretty slow pace with their draft, and Naga illusions will constantly harass. So I don't think they can Roche. Disruptors, short respawn time, and also just not a big kill. Not really a worthy pickoff, but you take it. I guess you're just saying like, my BKB duration this game doesn't matter so much, but I think Black may have some slight regrets about that, but not the biggest deal. Level 25 approaching for him at a pretty fast rate. We'll be looking at probably the stats. Not the biggest here to be hitting level 25. Not a bad game for the Pounce Leash, but Lifestealer can always rage out of it. Oh, and Abaddon actually already hit level 25. This is such a scary time. I mean, Abaddon in the front lines.
On that field.
It's 500 HP barrier that you can just constantly reapply.
Again, Black looking for the backlines, will find Miracle.
Oh, that shield damage is just insane.
He's actually going to get a glimpse back here. They don't have the control though. Black again. It's too slippery for them to deal with straight up.
Trying to bait a BKB, I think, with that glimpse, because he didn't even static storm. Perhaps he was thinking that he might waste a BKB again.
Back in they go. Ice straight onto the Rex. Will get skewed away from his team. And they'll use the slip.
Ooh,
I mean, this should secure the Abaddon kill.
They may just let him die.
What's Black's play here?
Yeah.
Yep. He turns.
Sack him.
He runs. You're on your own, Ice.
This is what's going to be the story of this game. The Liquid ability to defend high ground. Magnus, his skewer, the RP potential. Yes, your Abaddon is invincible in Ultimate, but Song is being constantly used for it. And I think it's with good reason. You don't need to use the Song as a setup anymore. You've got plenty of stuns to set up Static Storm with the Slider Crush, the Ensnare, the Magnus RP. Use that Song purely to waste the borrowed time.
Black.
That's a gem, so
Yeah, he's got to be a little wary of this. Miracle and Matuma Man. Are they going to gear up for a pick? Actually looking towards Roshan. And where Faceless lack the power to take it, Liquid can certainly bring him down quickly.
They don't buy back in Batten. I think this is just taken, but also feels like a stage of the game where you may just want to hold that buyback.
Black questioning if he can go for some sort of a play here. Just go for the D ward. And he himself's not going to head towards the pit. Jab's thinking about going in though. Very, very close. Jumps in. Is he going to make it? Dire. Take Roshan. Matuma Man with the Aegis. And Jab is going to be caught. And almost certainly taken down. Can they get him out? They cannot. Liquid will take the kill. And maybe even move forward for more here. Nuts ooh, hiding behind that tree.
What a sneaky little depth. Nuts is just such a good support player. His positioning and like map sense and awareness is just insane, but ultimately, great individual play aside, that's a big win for Liquid. Securing Roche, getting the Ember kill, really nicely done. Ember tried to hold his ground and just fight with the Miona. Miona was doing some serious damage there, but ultimately, you're not going to win that one 1v4, or with a bit of help with the CM Freezing Field. He came close to killing a Lifestealer, but game has swung back Liquid's way with that Aegis in hand.
Absolutely, and GH Naga continuing to rise. 32,000 net worth nearly.
Oh, look at this change up. Ice going for the refresher. He wants a second ulti. That's a free Aegis pick. They're not going to... It doesn't... Unlikely to come a second time, but you take that. If you get an Aegis for free, it stops really the high ground push from coming, because now your Lifestealer can't just chip at the high ground with Rage. So nice free Aegis pick.
Oh.
What?
They managed to cancel the TP here, but the boulder smash is off point. GH a little too speedy there with the flutter.
Yeah, that was a key flutter. But yeah, Ice refresher. This is being picked up entirely as a counter to what we're seeing happen. He's hitting the racks, getting pulled deep into the base, and getting punished because of that. But refresher is essentially the answer to what's killing him. If you Song to stop his ultimate, well, he's going to have a second ultimate. And I like this. It's very unconventional. It's being picked up for such a niche situation, but it's going to work. It's going to solve his problem. No other item is going to do this. Like, he had a Lotus Orb queued up. He had an Octarine Core queued up at one point. The refresher is going to be the item that saves your life. None of those other two items save your life. You get a shorter cooldown ultimate, doesn't matter. They're going to kill you instantly.
I mean, it's crazy how much farm Ice has. He's on par with Black Slark. That is insane. And considering he's died quite a fair bit as well this game.
He's top CS. He's been the one pushing out lanes more than the Slark's been hunting heroes. Ice has been hunting creeps.
Talking about the man himself being focused down in by Liquid. There's the first ult.
If they go on him, he's got the refresh already. They've seen it.
They know this. They know that they can't do it a second time. A quick succession event. XY wants to fight, jumping forward. Jabs as well. Coming from the sidelines. Silence not to do. They jump forward with the burst. Miracle trying to slide his way. He's not going to make it. They've taken down Miracle. They'll turn towards Matumba, who goes for the rage and the runaway. But again, the slow from this Ice passive, keeping him controlled. Matumba Man's out as well. And again, Faceless finding the fights. Whilst GH, he says, team, can we calm down? I'm trying to win us the game. He split pushes, takes the tier 2, the Naga Siren is everywhere.
I mean, moments like that is why Dota is such a interesting and complex game. An item that you, like Refresher, you just never expect to see in the Batten, or maybe as like a late game lecture, and gets picked up for that situation there. If he doesn't have Refresher, they Song, they blow him up, no way you win a fight without the Abaddon, but they don't jump on him. I mean, Abaddon doesn't have a huge impact on that fight, but the fact he stays alive is the impact he has there. The Lifestealer goes on him, forces the second ultimate, but Lifesteal does no damage.
There we go, GH just buying time. Miracle will be back up in a few seconds.
Okay, yeah, this is just, delaying. Trying to abuse that short cooldown.
Don't have that Static Storm. Can they get them off the racks in time? Miracle will try.
And they want to hold the buybacks at this stage.
Yeah,
you got
the
Naga.
fortification. They might actually be able to protect these racks. Ice. He wants to stick around and take it, and he will. Gets the melee racks.
The shield
Can
damage.
they bring him down? He's got the ult back up. Mind control. Looks like he tried to jump in there, but messed up there with the initial play. Miracle. Stone onto 2. The racks are gone. Faceless get what they came for, and they'll get themselves back out safely as well.
Good safe siege from them, and I think Liquid definitely not worth using a Lifestealer buyback just for that one melee Rex. You're entering that stage of the game where you've got Naga, you've got pretty farmed core heroes. You let a melee Rex go. Buybacks are going to be much more important. If it's mega creeps, yeah, you probably buy back, but for saving one Rex, not worth.
They clear out the shrines, continue to maintain map control. Faceless. Jazz with the Lincolns as well. He's also going to be very slippery and hard for Liquid to catch.
Still can lock him down with the Static Storm as we've seen. I thought he was wondering if he might go for a BKB, just so if he gets caught in a crush or if he gets Song Static Stormed, he does die. And that Lincolns will not help him out against that, so I do feel like BKB is an item you want as an Ember this game.
Black's going to find Matuma. Poke rage as well with Vice in the neighborhood. Matuma Man does have a team nearby. They need to get it quickly. There's the Song.
Is there a Boulder Smash? He's
going to make it out.
That Sleight of Fist attempt. Yeah, XY was just a little bit too far, it looked like.
Could be about to see some interesting plays as well. XY with the gold for the Aghanim Scepter.
Ooh. Holding buyback for now. I don't think it's a spell that's received some serious nerfs, the Enchant Remnant, so I haven't really seen the Ags ever like decide games like it used to.
I guess it's nice this game for saving someone from a Static Storm. Just
pull.
stoning them, getting them out.
Oh, the stone, yeah. And you've also got
protecting them from the damage.
Geomagnetic Grip you can then use on heroes, which is probably the big part as well.
Yes.
But yeah, the Enchant Remnant, hard to use because of the short cast range if they're silenced. Maybe you get an Aether Lens even. Like late game Aether Lens on Earth Spirit is definitely a thing when you've got Ag Scepter. I've seen players like Jax go for it after the Ags, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, just things as well, like stoning this guy, making sure he can't sing, could be pretty nice. But yeah, he does have to get himself very close and personal.
Yeah.
And as the Ags pick up, we could see some little plays from XY. I mean, he's certainly been having an impact so far this game. A lot of very, very impressive maneuvers from the Earth Spirit.
Yeah. Definitely feels like that Rax does not change the state of this game. I mean, it's fine not to say Faceless are behind. I think this game, considering they've got 3 cores who've scaled well, is still looking alright for them, but
that Naga though.
I think it's more the Naga at 6 slot. I think it's more about the fact now Magnus and Lifestealer have caught up. They were kind of struggling to keep up in farm. They're still a little bit behind, but being 2,000, 3,000 gold behind cores at 25, 30 minutes is bad. Being 3,000 gold behind cores at this stage, 50 minutes in, not a big deal. The farm difference is being reduced.
All Black leading on the front. Actually going to go with a jump in on Miracle. Matuma Man's there to block it. BKB popped by Black. Manning up. Has to be careful, falling very low now with the Shadow Dance, continuing to chase down Matuma Man. There's going to be a Song from GH. He's just out of range. Matuma Man will manage to run away though. Jabs, now getting the route onto GH. GH trying to play his way out, looks for the TP. Is he going to make it? He is.
What a TP! The balls on GH! Those are some fucking ginormous balls. Like, how does he get out? He just TPs around 4 heroes.
Jabs, can he kill him though?
How did he even knows there's no stuns left? They use Searing Chains, Frostbite, every stun had been used.
Jabs,
it might kill him.
He's got a remnant in a second. Oh, nah, okay, yeah, Miracle Life control there.
Okay, he's not willing to risk it. He hasn't got BKB. That.
Oh boy. This Naga. Unkillable. Apart from the 3 times he's died.
Same with the unkillable. You know, I've called Ice unkillable a few times, and yeah, he's got a few deaths to his name. With the refresher, he's unkillable. Don't know about that, but
I mean, yeah, I don't think we've seen him. Have we seen him gone down since he brought the refresher?
No, he hasn't.
Yeah.
But moonshots kick in. Definitely nice playing this super late game Naga. You can give moonshots to your teammates. It's like, all right, sorry I took all the farm. Here's a moonshot to make up for it.
Well, Matuma Man has the Heart of Tarask complete here on his lifesteal ability. So very tanky indeed with that AC and the amount of HP he has.
Synergizes well with the Empower since it's bonus damage based off your primary attribute. So more strength, more Empower damage. Definitely a nice pickup. And of course, HP, get tanky. But it's nice to be able to go for a super tanky HP and like hard and also get damage out of it, which is a rare case with the Magnus Empower.
Roshan not quite up yet. It will be the longer respawn. Size. He'll come around, won't quite get eyes on Liquid, who were clearing out some of Faceless's half of the map. Orchid picked up for mind control, so again, looking for any extra lockdown they can build to.
They're going to start looking for answers to the late game at Batten, which is the Silver Edge silences. If you Silver Edge him, you silence him, you can potentially kill him. But it seems Ice can probably see that coming. He's got Manta queued up. He could go Lotus Orb. If you get something to get out of silence, you can still get your ultimate off. So the big thing is not getting stunned. If you get stunned, Silver Edged, and silenced, you're dead. I mean, that's 3 things. That's a lot that has to happen, but it's definitely possible. You Static Storm him out of sleep. You Silver Edge him, he's going to die because he can't get out of that. So.
Smoke from Liquid. What can they get with this one? Ice, not really the guy you want to be jumping on first. And Black, in fact, heading straight into the midst. He makes a beeline immediately into the center of Liquid, jumps forward onto Kurokin with a BKB pop to take one. Turns towards Matuma Man, but the Black Shadow Dance is there, and he'll continue to chase down this lifesteal as much as he can. GH, the last few seconds of the song, but mind control's been caught. They've got the vision, they'll bring in Black for the kill, and they find themselves a second once again. GH will be able to get out, but Faceless continuing to win the team fights. And Liquid just can't seem to find an opening to get in and initiate them themselves.
Still Naga, you're still not going to get a lane of racks off of that. It's like we won a team fight, but your team fight win was killing a Magnus, really. I mean, Disruptor dies, but Disruptor's already back alive. The Magnus is really the only big kill you get out of that, and no big ultimates used. The song is used, yes, but it's got a 30, 40 second cooldown, whatever it is, and it's going to be back up. Yeah, it's already back up. 45 seconds, you're good to go. Magnus will have RP on the high ground defense, and hey, Naga Illusion's pushing top, pushing mid. You can't push out any of these lanes. It is going to be a long, frustrating game for Faceless to win, and similarly for Liquid, they're going to try wear them down. It's going to be a tough one that they're going to have to try and wear down Faceless. Wait for those mistakes, wait for those pickoffs. You've got Slaughter, you've got Magnus, you've got Disruptor, you've got these great team fight catch, and they're going to go through mid to top, trying to force the issue.
They need to do something to stop this. Faceless got away with it mid lane, they're looking to it top, Ice will be grabbed back. There's your first ult, refreshes it, prepping for the second one. May still go down here, taking a lot of the beat down, but Faceless, it's buying time for turning up. Now the whole team of Faceless is here.
Yep.
GH.
May have to solve.
He's going to need to solve. Back getting bursted there by Jabs. He's out. And now with the jump in Liquid, they need something big. RP's there. They've brought down Black. That may be enough, taking the Slark out of the fight, but GH having to use the buyback there.
What can they get out of this, though? Slark's dead. Can you get a follow-up kill? Can you get objectives? That's what Liquid have got to be asking themselves. Let's try and force this Slark to buy back. And now it's up to people like Jabs to split push, to cut waves.
I mean, Miracle's desperately trying to chase down Nuts, but he keeps holding him back with the damage, making sure that that Blink Dagger can't come through. Now it finally does. And they will, at the least, bring down the CM.
Yeah.
And does open up the space for Roche. So this, good news for Liquid. Taking down Black, absolutely essential there in getting this momentum to find Roche, pick up that Aegis on Matumba, and maybe themselves. I mean, can they got 50 forcing seconds. Out that buyback would be brilliant.
So a little bit of time to try and do that.
But bottom lane, look who it is, Jabs.
I mean, Naga's pretty good at defending lanes with the 20, 30 second cooldown boots of travel, but it's not just Naga TPing back, so that suggests Liquid are happy with this game slowing down. They're not going to try and force those buybacks. You put yourself at risk. You get jumped while you're pushing high ground, the buyback comes out, you get team wiped, and suddenly, well, you're in a bad spot. And who was it that got the Aegis?
Matumba.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Naga doesn't have buyback, so you're in a very risky spot. You can't really give Naga Aegis. She's not a good Aegis carrier. She's 6-slotted.
Yeah,
so
she needs those slots.
using a Naga buyback hurts a lot at this stage because it is a hero. You can't just chuck an Aegis on to compensate for the lack of buyback. Can start pulling some more moon shards potentially.
BKB picked up on jabs now as well. So that song potentially going to be played around even more by the two cores of Faceless.
Yep.
As this game 31-20, another long one. We've had a couple of them here in the best of ones. 56 minutes coming up on the clock. And definitely still with the potential to fall either way this match. Faceless with the overall stronger team that they've managed to mount to. But Liquid relying on the GH Naga that has been able to climb them out of very difficult positions already in the group stages here at DAC.
Yeah, this is about as tough as it gets, but they've held on for now. At this point, you kind of talk about Faceless, like how much stronger can they get? Abaddon's peaking. He's queued up an Octarine, but he's going to have to be juggling items.
Oh, silence immediately onto Matuma. The boulder smash as well actually managed to clip Miracle as well across the tree line.
It clipped 3.
Oh.
It clipped both heroes across the tree line.
XY setting up the plays here for the Faceless side to finish through. Have they got any way to stop this? They have not. Matuma Man will be able to get himself back. But again, losing 2. And Faceless ready to push this top lane around. GH has been unable to deal with this pressure on this top lane.
Great support play today. Like the blinding light in the Roche pit earlier today, that boulder smash was absolutely crazy.
And here we go. What's Liquid's answer? They will have Kuroki back, but still 40 seconds without mind control. Oh, sorry, without
Miracle.
On
the Slaughter, yeah.
He does have that buyback.
Oh, not asleep during what?
What's that song?
Question mark?
It stuns, but it doesn't silence.
Yeah, but you don't need it. I'm just surprised they used his ulti there.
Oh, true. That's the question mark. Matuma Man, focus first, Black. BKB, GH trying to save something with the song, but the rack's falling very, very low. And Faceless will almost certainly take a second melee. They're jumping in. Jabs. Bursting now, Matuma, GH. Oh, there's no buyback. There's no buyback.
What a play from Jabs, getting on the back lines. They tried to buy time for the Slaughter respawn.
No Naga for 100 seconds. This is the dream for Faceless.
They may regret just not buying back there. It's just a Slaughter buyback. It's not worth using a double song and getting caught out for that.
I mean, they will force Faceless out of the base for the time being, but they've lost a second full set of racks. And no Naga for 80 seconds. Very dangerous territory.
They want to end this game likely. They only have like the Magnus skewer deep into the base may be the response and the way to hold your high ground.
I mean, if they can survive these 70 seconds, then they could be a 2 minutes and a half for that buyback cooldown. So if they can go past this point, Liquid, they may be okay. But as you said, Faceless will surely want to do as much as they can.
Yeah, very hesitant to go high ground though. 55.
They've got a DD and 21 essence ship. It's the dream.
Just backdoor that tier 3. I guess that you're going to fight backdoor protection, but you may as well. Fight backdoor protection. Yeah, Ice is like, come on, guys. Let's do this.
This DD rune is going to make short work on this bottom lane. As Faceless are cleaning up the base of Liquid, Mega Creeps will be out. And Jabs just forcing the side back to the fountain, keeping them away from this push as Black straight onto the tier 4s. 25 seconds without GH, 25 seconds without 40,000 net worth for their team. And with these essence shift stacks and the DD, they're going for the game, Faceless. Can Liquid stop them? They'll hit the RP, bringing Black down low, but is it low enough? It's not. Shadow Dance is there. The buyback from Kuroki. Each is falling. Black, he's actually looking for kills here. In fact, they're backing away a little bit. Jesus swallowed by Mind Control. The Static Storm, it will Jabs, but they've lost Matuma Man. Black comes in onto Kuroki for the second time. Miracle is out and down. Mass buybacks coming out from Liquid. Can they hold? They need something huge. They need GH to be able to force these guys back. He's being rooted, silenced up, Jabs back in, Black as well, the Naga's out. Liquid are going home here from this best of one, and Faceless have done it. They've beaten the shots.
Absolutely brutal start. Best of one Dota. Faceless pull out a hell of a game. And
goodbye Naga pickers.
You got to feel good if you're Faceless. You've had a rough group stage. You let a lot of good early games and should be wins, I think, slip away from them. Their group stage, they finished last place. They look like one of the weaker teams, but you look back at a lot of those games, I think a lot of them they felt like they should have won. So Faceless, they win when it matters. Main event, best of one.
Against Liquid.
Yeah.
Against
So Faceless, they win when it matters. Main event, best of one.
Against Liquid.
Yeah.
Against the Naga Siren. I mean, something that we've seen not only teams playing against Liquid, but a lot of series. The Naga Siren has been incredibly strong. And they do it. Black on his Slark. Incredible game.
Yeah, and that's, I think, really, that game was so tough.
And XY Ursprint, I mean.
Everyone played so well. Like, CM's positioning, she got some really nice ultimates, got some key plays out of there. Black did really well. Ice maybe it was a bit too aggressive. It's funny when Ice is like the player not stepping up like as much as you normally. Yeah, he was a bit too YOLO, but that really, I think the talk with Faceless is like Ice is the one star. Can anyone else on the team be like a superstar? And yeah, that game shows that. The rest of the team can step up when needed.
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Faceless move on. And we're saying goodbye to Liquid here in this first best of one of the lower bracket. Crazy stuff. Back to you, Paul. Liquid, goodbye. And to you as well, goodbye. To the panel, where you go.
Guys, thank you very much for your commentary today. Well done to both of you. And to all of the talent that have brought us some fantastic games throughout the day. They said during the group stages and before, indisciplined, inconsistent, too much theory crafting. It all went out of the window today as Faceless became the winners in their match against Team Liquid. We'll catch up with our panel right now. And we'll start with Fogged. Can you quite believe what you've just watched? Because that was a completely different team from the one that played in the group stages 2 days ago.
Yeah, they each played really well. I mean, Jabs had his moments, Black had his moments. Me and Ben looked at each other and we're like, wait, Black's 10-0 at one point. We're like, holy crap, how the hell hasn't he died in this game? All of them were carrying their weight. The Earthspirit plays, XY had some beautiful stops on the sleep. We saw a couple TPs out. Liquid definitely made a lot of costly mistakes. Mind Control definitely felt like he was struggling a lot on this mag to find opportunities.
This was the first fight where Faceless actually won at a point where they could do something after they won a fight. Like, you can see the tier 1 mid is still standing on the side of Team Liquid. Yeah. That is not a good sign if you're Team Faceless. But after this, they just took more and more map control, and then a Naga factor kicked in. Everything slowed down. Everything seemed like, okay, we're in one of these again. You know, you got GH.
This was a big CM ulti here on the side too with the Veil. They cleaned up the Earth Spirit right away. They almost killed the Slark too. They thought they'd get a setup after the Aegis, but this was a really bad point for Liquid too. It was a lot of just situations where they thought they could take fights, and it was just like, wait a minute. We're taking a lot more damage than we expected from the Radiance, from the Veil, from all the different things in combination.
I want to go back to the very beginning of this game. Before the draft, Ben, we said Liquid favourites. They get the draft that they wanted. They can win this game hands down.
I thought they
got the draft they wanted.
The Magnus was not what I expected it to be. Mind Control is really good on those initiators generally too. Like, he played a mean Slardar, he has a really good Faceless Void, and I don't think Mag is that much of a stretch from those two heroes, but he was not able to find any good RP. Granted, they had some very slippery heroes, but still, maybe one or two that were actually decent, I would say. And a lot of times he just got caught out and died. This is
another example, Shiva, of inconsistent Liquid, isn't it?
Yeah, and the scary part for Liquid is that this is their go-to, well, we don't know what works, but at least we got GH Naga Siren. And it didn't work this time. Yeah. Their insurance policy was not really an insurance policy. Oh, I love the refresher from Ice as well, by the way.
Yeah, it was definitely very clever to deal with that Naga sleep that was happening. And here again, every single person carrying their weight. Yeah. Black, like we said, beyond godlike. This is the first time he actually dies in the game. Yeah. 53 minutes in. And then Jabs with these multiple, the triple remnants with Veil on top of everything, with Photic Shield as well. It's an immense amount of magic damage burst.
It was a little worrying moment towards the end, though. Ben wasn't there. We were a little bit concerned because I think it was a Liquid player down for 90 seconds or something.
Oh yeah.
And they pulled out. They basically took the racks out in mid, took the racks out at the top, and then you thought, okay, take the racks out at the bottom. You've got Megas then, and then at least then you're safe and you can just come back when you want. But they disappeared and they came, they went. They didn't really know what they were going to do.
Maybe they saw the double damage or something like that, but they didn't even use any of the shrines. The shrines are still up right now, so it wasn't that. But they They maybe like, what? Did we just win? Maybe they like also didn't take the Naga buyback timer too. That might have also been something.
Maybe, yeah.
But maybe they didn't have buybacks at all. So like,
a small worry though, wasn't it? Just a little bit. It's just like,
a little bit.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't throw this now because you've done well.
Is it going to go another 25 minutes?
But yeah, great play though overall.
Yep.
From Faceless and very crisp. Yeah, it's exactly the word I was going to use. Yeah. The stats bear some very good stats if you're a Faceless fan. Look at the black stats: 15, 1, and 12, and that 1 came after 53 minutes.
They're 3 net worth. Look at that. All 3 cores.
Above
33,000, 35,000, 35,000.
Yeah,
that was a really hard Slark game too. I think Jabs played pretty well, but because I thought they like focused a lot on the Slark and Black only dying once the entire game was pretty incredible.
Yeah, 0, 14, 12 unfortunately on Kuro on that disruptor. Not a good game for him or his team, and they are eliminated. MVP
Black,
our old boy Black.
Yeah.
They all performed super well, Black. I mean, without dying, I don't know how the hell he did it. That one survived when he survived near the Ancients. I'm just like, what the hell? And then he survives again. I mean, he's playing versus Disruptor. That's so hard to do versus Slark.
Yeah.
All right, Slark.
Yeah, it's funny actually because all the time he spent with us last year on the panels, and we gave him quite a hard time over various things and ribbed him about Invoker and all sorts of fun stuff. It's great to see him in a team that he's enjoying playing and playing well as well.
Yeah, I think he got AK with Slark too. I think that was the hero that he got AK with.
Ew.
Well, I mean, he's good with it.
Yeah. I mean,
it shows.
They played well.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Deserved the win.
Let's take a look at all of the results from day 1 of the main event. Has been a very exciting day. We started off the day, of course, with OG in fine form, heading in as favourites to Newbie, winning 2-0 again. Wasn't quite their own way, but they were dominant once more. IG were also looking for a similar result over Team Empire, but that one was much tougher. Empire putting up a very good fight in that one, going down 2-1. Those were the upper bracket matches. Then we moved into our do-or-die best-of-ones. LFY going down to IGV, and MP, who after looking good, going down to VGJ in our opening 2 lower matches. We also saw the 2 world champions from the previous 2 internationals. Wings going up against Evil Geniuses, EG coming out on top on that one. And finally, we've just seen Faceless taking out Team Liquid. There are just 2 foreign teams remaining now. Only Evil Geniuses and OG remain.
And 2 Abaddon wins now.
Yeah.
2 and 10.
2 and 10. It's on the comeback. It's on the comeback trail. Let's take a look at the brackets right now to show you how it's all shaped out. As you can see in the top half of the bracket, we only have 2 teams left. They've both guaranteed themselves a top 3 spot. OG and Invictus Gaming. No real surprise after the group stages. Both of those 2 teams dominated their groups and both have very different approaches to the current meta. It's going to be a fantastic clash between those 2 teams. Not just those 2 teams, but the style of play that they both have as well. 2 teams dropped down were, of course, Empire and Newbie today. They'll drop back into the lower bracket after we've shaped out the teams that are in there right now.
Yeah.
Deadly teams to meet as well. I think Empire they could go a bit further here, couldn't they?
Yeah, they look great when they have their ups, they have their downs. I think that they probably just need to crispen up the way they draft, and I mean, they're pretty scary.
Yeah, they took a game off IG, and IG was, for a lot of people, the clear favorite, and they showed that they didn't make it easy on them. So, yeah.
All right, well, thank you to all 3 of you. We are headed home after a very long day. We hope you've enjoyed the Dota 2. We've certainly enjoyed it. It's been a fantastic first day of the main event here, but still more to come. 3 best of 3s tomorrow, and Shiva will be hosting the 1v1 semi-finals and grand finals. Woo, can't wait. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.